Popcorn? The animation didn't fully play. I feel so ripped off. Oh well, popcorn?
Butter.
Root beer? I didn't even do it right. I was so upset that OBS cut the animation off early that I was so proud of that I forgot how it worked. Hello everyone. Welcome to Ready to Start the Podcast.
That was so strange for us because usually you do a countdown and then we start talking. But this one, you're like, okay, we're gonna do a countdown, then we're gonna start like the door animation, and I don't know like when our voices kick in, so everyone shut up. Only I can talk, and so we just sat in silence for like 20 seconds.
What do you think about
door animation?
What do you think about the new things I created for the show, like the animation and the new layout?
Ryan, I thought it was very good. It was very.
I think very wonderful, dear.
Thank you, babe.
I think it was kind of clean.
We want to get technical. Rosa also deserves credit because she made the chat box and also the footage preparing image you see on screen right now.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like an actual show now, right?
Here's the thing. We started the Patreon a few weeks ago now. And I'm like, okay, if we're getting a bit of money from this now, I'm gonna feel bad if we don't up the production values just a little bit. So I made it a bit more nicer looking on the whole.
Yeah, on the whole, I'd say super duper.
Get ready for like a 3D animated intro.
Yeah.
By Pixar and DreamWorks are gonna come together to make our new intro. They're gonna finally put all the beef aside. Boss Baby and Raya the Last Dragon will be in it. She's from Pixar, probably.
You couldn't even think of one. You could have said like Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah,
Come on.
Great, good stuff.
Why is the Raya the Last Dragon what you thought of? I wouldn't even think of that if I was thinking Disney.
Hey everyone, welcome to Ready to Start the Podcast. I'm Ryan Rippity. Who else is here?
Well, it's me, Boom Chicken. We're going to be taking a look at all the freaking powers of this character. We're going to be taking a look at all of Gizmo's moves.
Well, ignore whoever that just was. Who's our third usual?
Hi. I have some graham crackers, some bluey graham crackers.
What's happening here? Lou's eating like animal crackers.
Okay.
You're eating graham crackers.
A bingo cracker.
A bingo cracker.
Bluey healer cracker. The mom. And I'm not gonna lie here. They all look the same.
They're all squares.
No, they just. Yeah.
Are they squares or bears? Are you just eating square graham crackers?
I mean,
it's Bluey characters. They're not. What did you call them? Bears? They're dogs.
It reminds me of
No, I'm talking about honeygrams.
Oh,
Jesus Christ!
It reminds me of like when they did like the World Nintendo Animal Crossing plushes. They didn't make a Timmy and Tommy plush. They just made a plush of their design and said, "This could be Timmy or Tommy."
That's pretty clever. I mean, if they were smart, they could have like marketed like a limited release for like both of them at the same time.
Anyway,
yeah.
Well, who's our guest for this week?
I know you almost completely forgot about me, didn't you?
I'm Seep, by the way. I'm Seep on the screen right here because this is an actual show. I've point at the screen, look for my name. That's me. I have a very distinct voice.
Who's our special guest, though?
Yeah, I'm Lou.
Oh boy. I mean...
Oh, shut up!
It's not you. It's just, whenever we have you. It's like... we only have you on when
okay,
we're really scared.
I have beef with a Ready to Start cast fan. I have a beef with you. Ryan made a tweet saying, oh, hey... welcome to the next episode. Rosa, for the love of God.
So loud.
That's it. You gotta move your graham crackers
Peter Griffin ASMR.
So somebody, Ryan makes a tweet. Here's our new episode coming out tonight with special guest, me, Lou. And somebody in the Ready to Start Discord chat said, what was it? And I quote, really stretching the definition of special guest. Am I not good enough for you?
That sucks.
What are you, Bugs Bunny?
Yeah. That sucks pretty bad, Doc.
That wasn't even Bugs Bunny. That was your Jeff voice.
What? No, that's just what I sound. I just have. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. How's it going?
Shut up. No, you can't do Bugs Bunny. You can't do Bugs Bunny. Do it right now. Do it right now, Ryan.
Oh, Mac, check out the crying Elmer Fudd over there. What a stupid piece of shit.
Wow.
Show everyone the graham crackers.
Graham crackers? Oh, boy. Check it out, Doc. They're my favorite Warner Bros. Character shapes.
Hold on there. You're not going to be the only one who gets to eat graham crackers around here.
No, don't worry, Mac. We can both have delicious Gizmo, Scooby-Doo, and Rick from Rick and Morty shaped graham crackers.
Hey, what's going on? It's me, Bugs Bunny.
Rick and Morty.
We're going to be eating graham crackers. What kind of accent is that? Where's he from? Can we get some linguists on this?
He's kind of from. I feel like Eric Bauza. I feel like Eric Bauza in particular gives him kind of like a Boston accent. He's like,
yeah, Doc, I don't know about that, Mac.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, like
it gets a little wacky with you.
Yeah, you see, Eric Bauza's Bugs Bunny. He's like the Bugs Bunny from like the Bronx, right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh boy, the Bodega Boys are here.
Why did you invite me on this show? I didn't. I invited myself. Why did I invite myself on this show to talk about Looney Tunes, which I already do on the other podcast?
Because we don't talk about graham crackers on that one.
That's true.
I think it's so funny. We have like this chat, like me and Ryan and Rosa. We were talking about, hey, yo, does anyone have a guest for this week? Who do you want for a guest? And it was just literally just like, oh, Laura already said she wants me on. It's like, oh, okay. I guess this is how it works. I was gonna, there's a lot of topics this week. We could get like, what if we got like, I don't know, some call me Johnny. Maybe we could get like, Terrific Tariq. Like, no, Laura already said I want to be on the podcast, so I can't ask anymore. No, sorry, I have to turn down all my context that said like, oh, I'd love to be on your show. Yeah, it's me, Saber Spark. I'd love to be on your show. Ready to start the podcast. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Sabe. It's a Lou episode. We're doing it. Oh, that's okay. I guess I'll be on another day.
Try to get Andrew on, but
Andrew's he's such a big deal, right? Like he's the star. He's just the star. So like he's a hard guy to get on. Really busy guy, but he'll be here someday.
Do you know that like little bit in the Rob episode we had Andrew on? Do you know how much that costed us?
$1,000 million.
Yeah. So we like to get a whole like 3 hours. This is gonna be a long one, by the way. That's if Lou being here wasn't a big enough indication. This one's gonna drag on a bit. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, who else we were gonna try to get my like Bluey graham cracker supplier on.
Oh,
are these like black market graham crackers? Can you not get them in the States?
No, they're not even called graham crackers. They call them biscuits.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's actually Bluey biscuits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, let me do my.
Was lying.
Well, yeah, of course I did. We make jokes about like Bluey graham crackers. Sounds like something that like Ryan has made up on this stream like 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry.
No, Kelsey, me and Rosa's friend Kelsey, for as a kind of a fun gift package to Rosa, sent a bunch of stuff, so like some stickers and some Bluey graham crackers, our biscuits in this case. It was a very nice thing for them to do.
Yeah, very nice.
What? So, it's Bluey graham crackers. Sorry. Oh my god.
That's a joke. And
what?
Yet, I told him to get the graham crackers. That's a joke, and yet here they are.
Here they are in the future.
Don't tell Kelsey to get anything, or else her actually will.
Kelsey's very
sweet. Did you get some Vegemite? Did you get some Vegemite in that box?
Sorry.
I wanted to say, before we move on to the news for the week, Seep, you recently did something with YouTube sensation Arlo. Do you want to talk about how that came to be real quick?
Is that our headlining topic?
Yeah, just go for it.
Okay. Well, if you don't know, I guess we're gonna talk about this a bit more. Ryan, you're a big fan of Pikmin.
Yeah. I know them.
So they announced a new Pikmin game this week. And you might have noticed, like, a trending like Twitter topic when that happened was Arlo. Arlo was like the top trending topic. Mostly he was trending because I think people thought he like died or passed out or something because he didn't say a thing about the announcement.
Yeah.
And this is like his most anticipated game of all time, I think.
Yeah. Easily.
It's kind of become a meme of like, oh, like Arlo, what do you want to ask for like Pikmin 4 for Christmas, or like, oh, what, you know, so it was like at like 7. It was probably like the exact moment it was announced. Like, I got a message on Discord. I woke up to a message on Discord from Arlo. And he said, you know, he asked me if I was a quick drawer. And I think I kind of said, oh, am I a quick drawer? Of course, Arlo. I mean, I draw somebody, you know. I wasn't going to say like, yeah, no, Arlo, whatever. Yeah, he called me. Because we were kind of in contact. I guess you could say we're collaborators.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also made another Arlo video like a few months back when the new Kirby game came out. It's true. This is a completely true story. So he sent me like this like storyboard, like this like scribbled drawing, like really hastily drawn thing of like what he wanted me to do. And yeah, he just he basically wanted me to make it in like a day. Which I could do. I did it. So I made a little like animated intro thing for his Pikmin 4 reaction.
I want to add my internet went out when this happened, but there was a point the other night, and we're actually at the top of this night later in the show again for one other reason. Seep was like streaming themselves or something, drawing Arlo, and Rosa just did not question it at all. And then when the video went up, Rosa was like, "Oh." So that's
I like, cause I couldn't tell anyone about this, and it was only for like a day and a half, but still, like, you know, I had to keep my mouth shut. Yeah. So I just like sent Rosa just one of the drawings I did of Arlo, and she said in response, I want to read this because she said, "No, I can't say this." Because this is like,
I know what she said. I know
she said something a little off kilter. But so yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know if you got any. I feel like a freaking silly. You know, if you got any questions about my Arlo collaborations, I'd be happy to answer. Anything you want to know about it, you know.
They're gonna ask you what I said.
Yeah, I have a question. See, when are you doing animation on the Fuzz Boom cartoon?
You know, I don't know. I should actually ask him. I should ask Arlo, like, about the Arlo movie.
Don't DM Arlo about your idea for an Arlo movie where he sings the GameCube Connection.
I already pitched that to him, kind of. Did you? Sort of. I showed him the title, I told him the concept. And he didn't read it for a while until he DM'd me the other day. And he was like, and he just kind of said like, "Oh, that's pretty funny." But I don't know if he actually thinks it's funny or if he's just humoring me because he wanted.
So you sent him like this really in-depth.
No, I just sent him the title
you sent him a pitch Bible about the movie, and he didn't respond for several days before finally
months.
Going, that's
kind
of funny.
No, he just didn't. He didn't catch it. You know, I just sent him the cut. Listen, I question whether like should I like write a whole like thing and see what he thinks. I don't know.
This is the saddest story I've told on this show.
I'm like imagining him going to the computer, like he doesn't check, you know, Discord messages from anyone other than his like editors, maybe ever so often. He sees like he's got like 20 messages from Steve, and it's like this person he hired one time, and he goes to check it, just kind of slowly reads through it all, and kind of just doesn't know what to say.
Oh, that's not what happened. Okay.
That way post.
What?
Is it Rosa?
I would feel that way post.
Post what?
You know.
Oh. Rose, you can't reference that when we can't, like, even mention what you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, just to let y'all know, I feel like I'm getting... I don't know how to word this. Arlo's, like, getting closer to us, I think. I think I'm getting to a point where I could ask him if he wants to be on the show and not feel bad about it.
I'm going to die if that happens.
You all will have to be on your absolute best behavior.
I don't know when we'd bring him on. Maybe when Pikmin
You cannot,
comes
Rosie.
out.
You cannot talk about dipping him in water or whatever you want to do to him. You cannot do that when he's on the show.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Arlo,
I feel.
remember. So Arlo, when I was young, you remind me of a Cookie Monster plush that like I soaked in milk and slammed against the wall to make a laptop and then suck out the milk.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
With the new show format, I've structured it a way that we kind of start with smaller topics and then move on to some bigger ones. Our first smaller topic, if you've been keeping up with the world the past week or so, it has kind of been impossible to ignore. It's kind of an event of such magnitude that it's going to shape the next few months of our lives, maybe even years or decades, to be frank. They announced the King Dedede Nendoroid.
They did. Oh my god.
Finally, the royalty we care about.
I usually wouldn't talk about a toy on this show because that's such a specific niche interest of mine. But I need you all to know this. I've been waiting for a King Dedede figure where he's like posable since I was like 12, and I'm 23 now. I've wanted this for nearly 12 years. I've been waiting so long for any sort of Dedede figure where he's like posable or like displayable next to my other stuff. And it's finally happening. I pre-ordered it today. It's coming in July. This is all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
It's a really good, I mean, Nendos are always really good looking figures, but this one is just so cute, and I love how silly it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's very well done. I'm going to be putting my pre-order in pretty soon.
Yeah.
I need to have this in my house.
I mean, I swore off buying figures, and I kind of have to get this one, and I'm also gonna get, like, they reissued the Waddle Dee.
Ooh.
So I'm just like, I just gotta get it because I already have the Kirby and Meta Knight.
Why do you swear off like figures?
They're so freaking, like, oh my god. They have, like, little pieces, they fall over the floor, and they go up in the vacuum cleaner, and, like, if you invite someone to clean your house, they knock it over, and then they, like, lose the pieces, and I'm like, sorry. I can't really, like, I have to, like, find somewhere to, like, put them. I can't, like, throw them across the room, like, with plushes.
I keep all my, so I have a lot of Precure figures, and they tend to come with a lot of, like, hands and faces, and I keep my Pac-Mans in here, too, the parts of my Pac-Man. It's like a Pikmin bag. It's like a little Pikmin baggie my friend Vivian got me a few years ago, and I keep all my figure, like, parts in it.
I keep all my figure parts in boxes under my bed. That's where they go.
I keep the boxes separate, but I keep the figure parts in like a.
In a what?
In a what?
I keep them in like a box.
A box?
Oh, there it is.
For my figures, I put them in my belly bag.
Uncle Grandpa, what did you get here?
It can fit all my Nendoroid, Figma, and Funko pieces.
There we go.
A little like Nendoroid and what's that called?
Figure arts?
Figure arts.
SH Figure Arts.
I need a
those
freaking,
you gotta take care of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a Majin Buu one, and it's ginormous. And it has comes like a chocolate bar and like steam for his head and shit. And I have a Mr. Satan one too, and they stand together on my shelf.
Goku.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I like figure arts of like Himari and Ioe.
You do. I see them. They're cute.
Yeah.
So I think the thing about King Dedede is he's a bit more complicated in design than like the other three main Kirby characters. Like for a while they weren't really making a ton of merch of him compared to the other three. That's gotten a bit better recently, but I think part of Dedede just has such a good design. I think is part of it.
Yeah.
Like he's naturally like a character I'd want on my shelf. He's just a really appealing character design. So I'm so excited. And also, they're making a first Force figure statue of him. And that's gonna be up for pre-order soon.
Did they show that?
Yes, I'll link to it in they're previewing. They posted like some vague preview images, and it's gonna go up for pre-order on the 27th. So I'll probably see it in full very soon. You can.
That's good.
I'll post this in the Twitch chat link to the Twitch chat too, and you can all. It's not letting me paste. Give me a second here.
It looks like it's gonna be close to like the Smash design. It looks.
Yeah,
like,
it looks very similar to that one.
From what little we can see of it.
All right, that's cool.
So we're living like King D Renaissance.
Yeah, I like King D. I have the little figure of him where he's like eating ice cream.
That's so cute.
Oh.
It's like an ice cream fountain of dreams thing.
I got a few of him. One of my favorites, though, I got of him is him just sleeping and he's holding like a Scarfy.
Oh yeah, that's a good
like that
one. Yeah,
I have a few DVDs, but yeah. So I think next in terms of news, I'm the person in the world who has to keep up with all these stupid baby games. I have great news, everyone. They've announced Nick Kart Racers 3.
Woo! Wow! Yeah, everybody give it up for Nick Kart Racers 3.
Finally.
When did the other two happen? I don't remember them.
The second one was like 2020, and then I think the first one was like 2018 or something. I don't know.
So
I don't need that many.
What's the difference? Is
the first one has like 8 characters and 6 tracks, and it's a nothing video game. And then the second one added a bit more, and this third one adds a lot more, and they're all going to be fully voice acted. And I think this one's more interesting to me than like in terms of like, I'm so hyped for this Nick Kart Racing baby video game.
It's got squid dodging.
Just because there's a few interesting things in it that reflect a few things. The roster's really reflective of like Nick All-Star Brawl, like they're reusing a lot of like models from it. They're making a huge deal about voice acting in the marketing. I think Nick really learned their lesson from that game's launch. I think is really interesting.
Oh yeah.
And that carries over to, we'll get this when we get to the direct. When they talked about SpongeBob during the Nintendo Direct, they made a big deal like all the original voice actors are back.
Yeah,
so they got Mr. Krabs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Boy, SpongeBob, it's me, the original voice actor for Mr. Krabs.
It's him.
Chucky Finster is in the racing game. He's been spotted.
So we got Rugrats in the mix, which we
got
have not had. Rugrats are not in the fighting game except for Reptar.
Yeah.
But they're in they can drive cars. They can't fight. They can drive cars.
I think one of the most funny things about this game to me is that Cindy is the Jimmy Neutron character they picked as the second one. And I thought about like that's kind of a weird choice. I feel like she's not like as popular as Carl and Sheen in pop culture. And then I realized, it's because her voice actor's already on as Sandy, so it's just a saving resources thing.
You want to know how stupid I felt when I realized they had the same voice actor?
Me too.
I'm usually really good about picking up when characters share voice actors, and it's not even like their voices are wildly different. I just didn't associate them with each other at all.
No, it's funny. Like when I learned that, like I processed all the Cindy voice clips in my mind. I'm like, oh shit, they are the same voice.
Yeah, exactly. I did
funny.
know she was Ashley from Resident Evil 4, though. That one I knew. I knew that about Cindy Vortex.
I guess Rosa.
I was gonna say, I think it's also like funny that like this is also like the rare few occasions they actually use her in-show model.
That's right. Yeah. Cindy had a big thing in like the old video games where she always used her movie model, and it's generally believed that happened because when they sent like resources out to other companies, a lot of those resources were built on the original movie for Jimmy Neutron. So Cindy always used her specific movie design in a lot of games.
Jimmy wears shorts.
Yep.
But yeah, we've got this is like modern Cindy, you know. It's like for all the yeah. I mean, can we talk about like the actual like interesting character in this?
Yeah, Purple Reptar.
Sorry, I'm gonna put the roster on screen real quick. I think everyone needs to see that Purple Reptar's in this game. Go on, Seep, you want to talk about whoever.
No, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, Purple Reptile just was. Okay, well, you're right.
Yeah.
I got
people. You need to see this, everyone. Nobody's going to believe us.
So here's the roster minus Jimmy and Cindy, who we know are in the game now. For some reason, I need to stress something else revealed elsewhere. There's going to be costumes in this game too, which makes the inclusion of Purple Reptar as their own character really, really funny.
He's on. Wait. JoJo's in this game?
Yeah, JoJo Sui is back.
Wow.
We were talking about that the other day.
He looks like too.
Does JoJo Siwa know she's in this?
Probably not.
She was probably handed a contract, didn't think about it, signed it. It's the same thing with LeBron and Multiverses. They probably just handed them like the contract to the sign, and they didn't think twice about it.
Yeah, I mean, she probably signed that contract too, like 5 years ago. It's probably just like still ongoing from the last kart racer.
Yeah, that's a good question here. Is she voiced by herself? Are they going to make a big deal about how they got the real JoJo to voice JoJo?
That's true. What if they get someone else to do it? That'd be so funny. It's just Tara Strong doing it.
Get the JoJo character to voice her.
Yeah,
who voices Jolene? Like Kara Buxlin?
Yeah, do her.
She's gonna do it. The voice of Javon Yun.
Is JoJo Siwa even with Nickelodeon? Is what I
don't believe anymore. No,
I don't think she is.
I mean, she's like a lot older now than this description of her.
She's a grown adult. I mean, pretty much, almost. She's young, but like, she's not a freaking child.
I want to say also, the renders for this game are shockingly pretty good for like licensed game standards.
I was looking at Jenny's little profile there. She looks like, I think, a little better than she does in like the fighting game.
The one I always like look at is the Squidward render is like perfect. Like it's like, oh my god, it's such like a sublime like depiction of Squidward.
Still struggling with Danny a little bit though. That's just the hard character to nail in 3D.
I don't pity anyone who works in these games and has to do anything with Danny Phantom.
Oh, you do pity them.
I do.
This isn't the worst Danny I've seen in 3D.
No, far from it.
No, absolutely not.
He's not Globs of Doom, Danny.
Oh my god, everyone looks so Catholic in that one.
We can't explain that.
Look at Jimmy Neutron and tell me he hasn't shown up in any. He doesn't look like he should have anything Catholic.
Leap and leptons, SpongeBob.
He believes in science. He doesn't believe in God. Jimmy Neutron would be the guy.
He's talking about.
Yeah, he's the villain in the. Yeah, he's the villain.
You're Rosie. You're talking about you think Jimmy Neutron in Nicktoons Globs of Doom looks like a character from a Christian cartoon.
Oh, wait, never mind. I was thinking of a different Nicktoon Unite.
What are you talking
about? We're talking about
now?
10 different things.
Yeah, I don't know what this is.
I thought you were calling Jimmy Neutron a Catholic, and I just don't think that's true.
No. Rosa only means Jimmy Neutron from Nicktoons Globs of Doom on the Nintendo Wii.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Not that Jimmy Neutron, the other Jimmy Neutron from like.
What are you talking about then?
I got them mixed up. Okay, I got them mixed up.
No, are you talking about? There was like a night where we watched like 30 minutes of like Nicktoons licensed game cutscenes from like 2 different games. I
could have sworn Globs of Doom was the one she said.
No, we watched a different one after that where he had like really big blue eyes. Do you remember what game that was?
Yeah,
I don't remember. It was like
blue eyes.
He had these big blue eyes and he was like really white and pale. And Globs of Doom, he looks like a plastic like rotting action figure. But in the other game, he looks like really clean and like very pale, and he had these big blue eyes, these big Catholic eyes.
I have no idea.
This is not a conversation that matters to anyone.
It's not. It's really not.
It's on the podcast, so.
I guess so. It's just what you're here for.
My final say on this roster, I gotta say, in the realm of licensed baby racing games, this is like a pretty solid line of characters for this like kind of game. It's
this is like this is more characters than in like most Mario Kart games.
This has a wider spread of characters than Mario Kart 8. That's probably not a lie.
This is insane. This is like the Super Smash Brothers Brawl roster I'm looking at right now. Like, Jesus.
And Chucky's in it? Like, hello?
Yeah, they're not skimping out.
So yeah, I mean, this isn't even. Yeah, there's still like what, 10 more characters, 12 more characters.
I'm gonna
to
say
unlock?
3 of them are Ninja Turtles. Right now.
Okay, well, we're 3 Ninja Turtles. There's a Jimmy and Cindy. Then we got Chucky. So that leaves us 4.
One of them Zuko. One of them Zuko. We know that.
We got 3 left.
And then one of them's also Susie Carmichael from Rugrats.
Okay, we got 2 left.
I want one of them to be El Tigre.
Ooh,
I think he should be in a video game.
That would require them to acknowledge Nicktoons Network.
Niall, it's not Gino.
Gino.
I got it. Kappa Mikey.
Oh my god, I would love it if Kappa Mikey was like the Game & Watch of this game.
Can you imagine if they put Kappa Mikey in a game like this now and like the kids playing? Because like I feel like most of the Nicktoons are kind of widespread. Like even kids now would know who like Zim is and like Danny because like Nick brands them a lot. Can you imagine if they put Kappa Mikey in this game and all the 4-year-olds at home be like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah. I should put in the pineapple guy from Yakety Yak.
Don't talk, man.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, what did they put Cornel and Bernie in?
As
my gosh.
Character.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll get the international audiences really into this game, you know? So show them some rep. The UK.
Right.
They're from the UK, aren't they?
They're from France, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're French.
Cornel and Bernie?
Yeah, Cornel and Bernie.
French!
Cornel.
Is Cornel a French name?
Wait, hold on. This is true. Banshee in chat. Matnu Potlu can get in. They can get in. And they can dab.
That would actually be cool.
That'd be really funny if they put those guys in and they dabbed.
You know, they would call it Watch My Chops, not Cornel and Bernie.
Of course.
So we gotta get that right. We can't upset people about that.
I mean, the characters, though.
Oh, they're gonna put Movie Sonic in!
Oh my god. Yo!
I'm strong and very powerful.
Is that what
You're
Sonic,
never gonna have my
Sonic's
power. I'm gonna win this race.
Oh, that's right. Odie was in the trailer too. We have one character we don't know left. It's probably Tommy.
Oh, really?
We probably know everyone.
It's probably Tommy Pickles. Why wouldn't
there's no surprises anymore these days.
I want to say last thing about this at all. I think it's funny the Zim render is clearly based off Enter the Florpus. It's like that design specifically.
Rounded.
Yeah, that's true. Cool.
All right.
All right.
Yay! For our next news topic, you know, it's been such a hard time in the world last week. We lost such an influential figure in the world. You know, we've been shutting down stores. People have been calling in to stay home because it's just been so tough. This is someone who's just really had a huge impact on the world. Duncanville's final episodes are airing very soon. And
it's on Seep's birthday.
Yeah, on my birthday. On October 18th.
That is so fucking funny.
It's not funny. Duncanville's ended.
I know,
my day is ruined.
You're laughing. You're laughing. Duncanville's dying?
And you're laughing.
It's just, Seep, you love this show.
I do.
I know you do.
Like no one else did.
And then they finally say, okay, we do have to end it now. You know, that's sad enough. This is the exact date it's coming to an end. It's your birthday.
I feel like I gotta do something just to express my gratitude to the team, to the Scullys, to Amy Poehler.
You know, maybe it was a birthday gift to you. You know, like a final send off for Duncanville.
Right.
On your birthday, like it's just, you know, it had to go. It was out of their control. But at least they could give you these last, 6 episodes?
Yeah, 6 Hulu exclusive episodes. I don't know what happened at Fox, but they don't want it anymore, so... maybe if we all watch the 6 Duncanville Hulu episodes, Hulu will order more seasons.
That's not going to happen, Steve. I'm sorry.
Guys, maybe if we all pirate Clerks, the animated series, they'll make more.
That's how Clone High got a remake.
Sure, they gotta put Duncanville on YouTube for free to watch.
Yes, they gotta put Duncanville on a YouTube stream. Have people watch it. They should make like Dumpkinville funny moment like clips on like YouTube Shorts and like
I
just
know.
kinda, like,
I
mass
feel like they
circulate
don't do
them.
that enough. They do that like a little, but I think they could be doing it a lot more with all
Every
the funny
time I go
moments.
on the
Dumpkinville has.
YouTube Shorts, I get like 50,000 Family Guy clips, like just force fed to me. And I think if
Yeah.
they did that with Duncanville, maybe that we could have a turnaround, you know?
I know. I mean, it's a bummer, but like, you know, it didn't last a short amount of time, even though it feels like that.
It
And
lasts
it
longer
got
than most
3
Fox
seasons.
shows.
It did. It broke like a Fox primetime record. Like, there's like a threshold. Usually cartoons on there don't make it past like a 2-season order, but Duncanville got 3. So yeah.
Everyone, I'd like to announce right here, right now. Lou agreed to this. She said she would do this.
What?
We're all some of us as a group are meeting up in November as kind of a fun
yeah.
meetup. And Lou was so touched by Duncanville, she agreed to let me make a ham and cheese pizza for everyone. She was ravenous for it. We're all gonna be doing it together as a friend group, as like a kind of a tribute.
Yeah, just kind of a send off.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay.
Hey, wait, you know, Seep, there's some good news.
Is there?
Yeah, Gizmo is coming to Multiverses. I mean, it already came to Multiverses. They're
I
in
was
the
gonna
game
say,
now.
is he in the game?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I'm hearing that Gizmo has been added to Multiverses. Cross my fingers right now. I want to hear the good news. Does he have his popcorn move?
Oh, Seep.
Yeah.
If you want
What?
Gizmo to have his popcorn move, he's
His
got
iconic
it.
popcorn move. Oh my god. They gave it. They did it. They did it. Oh, there's nothing they can't do. They gave Gizmo his iconic popcorn move.
You do have to unlock it after 60 hours in the battle pass, though. It's not automatically in his kit. You have to unlock it.
Well, I mean,
Sorry.
it's-
So I think I'm the only one here who actually played as Gizmo. Is that right?
yeah.
Ryan, you know me. I got Tom and Jerry, and I have not played a single character other than those guys the entire time I played this game.
Rosa, have you hopped on Multiverses in secret and played as Gizmo?
No, I've been playing Riders Aether to play as Mamizelle.
All right, then I'm the only one who's played as Gizmo. So Gizmo, I think I'm really glad they put Gizmo in early on, because I think they're gonna start changing character release orders based on like what people on Twitter want. And if that happened, Gizmo would not be in this game till like 2026. I think I got very lucky. Because they're gonna start like, oh, we need to put Mordecai and Rigby on because all the 14-year-olds are calling it based on like Steven, we fucked up so bad.
Why did we put Steven in the game? People think he's cringe.
No, I like playing as Gizmo. He's kind of a weird character. He doesn't have a lot of good like killing moves. He's very light and fast, speedy.
Speedy?
He's Arriba. I didn't super love Gizmo at first because I didn't quite understand how to do, because one of his gimmicks is he can throw popcorn out, his iconic popcorn move. You might have heard of it. It's kind of his thing. And then he can use like a flaming bow to like shoot at the popcorn, and it will do like a big like blast damage. And I didn't understand you could store like the fire bow, so I kept trying to do that. And I couldn't make it happen because it like takes a lot of setup. When I learned that, he became a lot more fun. He's a really good like support character. He's not very good in 1v1 at all, I think, in my opinion.
So he's more designed for those like the what they want you to do, which is
Yes.
2v2.
Yeah, he's really fun in that. He's really fun to like kind of back people up with. He's kind of good to be like a nuisance with, like get around. He's got a little car you can drive in. I'm so glad the car's in it.
So when are they adding Greta though?
Yeah.
When is Greta from Gremlins 2 coming in?
Yeah.
You know she's gonna be like the battle pass, like end of battle pass variant for Stripe.
I hope they do go crazy with Stripe's alts and just have like a bunch of different gremlins.
They gotta do that,
Gremlins.
right? Like, that just makes so much, because Gizmo you can just put in cute outfits because he's a cute little guy. I feel like Stripe is so primed to like have all the other gremlins like on him. It's like outfits.
Imagine if we get Daffy from Gremlins before Daffy Duck as a character.
Right.
For
Germa would
Stripe.
love it.
You know,
Yeah.
so do we have any? I know that there's been like some characters that are like, oh, they're pretty much we're sure we're gonna be in the game, like Gandalf and them. Did they just give up on them? Did they just scrap those guys?
So it sounds like there's a few characters who we know were considered, are planned, or even developed, and were scrapped. One of them, it seems like early on, Harry Potter was supposed to be in the game, but it sounds like that. It sounds like that fell through. It sounds like they're not doing that at all anymore.
Well, what happened?
What could have possibly happened?
I think a mix of like the rights being a bit mixed, and I think the press right now is so bad it's just not worth doing. We know Mad Max was planned, and we don't know what his status is. We just know he's like not really talked about. Johnny Bravo was in the earliest leaked, and he's kind of missing, but it sounds like the original leaker is like certain Johnny Bravo is going to get in still.
I hope so.
I really want that so bad.
You know,
man, I'm pretty.
Oh baby, oh mama.
Godzilla had a lot in the files, and they all got removed pretty recently. And it sounds like
really,
it sounds like that deal that went through probably was the final nail in the coffin for Godzilla.
Oh right. There's like they don't want them to use Godzilla anymore. They got mad. Like the Godzilla company got mad that like they put all the movies on HBO Max or something. I think that's what happened.
And then two Lord of the Rings characters were planned. One was Gandalf, and Legolas is the one with the bows.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, he was planned.
Yes, Ryan.
But the more notable thing is Gandalf was done, like literally finished. Like he had a model, a moveset, he had voice acting, he had perks, he had outfits planned. He was done. He was literally done. But he's completely gone from the files now. And it sounds like the rights getting passed around for that series fucked them over really bad on that. He's probably not going to be in the game until they can figure anything out.
Yeah, they got that new Amazon show for Lord of the Rings. Wonder if that's got anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Wait for like Prime Fighters. You know.
Oh my god!
I
Look at that guy from Invincible or whatever in it.
Yeah,
I think Gandalf could still happen. I don't have any hope for Legolas. I think he's probably done. But I think since Gandalf was done, I could see them possibly try to push for like some sort of deal. Like, hey, we literally finished this character. Can we please put him in the game?
Can we just put him in the game?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, he would be a good support character, I think. He would, like, cast spells on his teammates and stuff.
And he can go,
imagine if he did, like, the move where he's like, yes!
Oh, they're gonna work with man. For sure.
Is it going to be Gandalf the Grey, or is it going to be Gandalf the White?
It is Gandalf the Great, I believe.
Okay.
But Gandalf the White was going to be a skin. We know that.
Okay.
Wait.
What about Monty Python?
And the Blue Beanie.
What? Was that Rosa?
White.
White?
White?
White.
Who white?
I'm white!
But Gizmo, really love Gizmo's. I'm so glad Gizmo's in this game. It's funny. When Gizmo got him, like, isn't it a bit weird Gizmo's fighting? And then I remember that's exactly just his development in Gremlins 2 as he learns to fight. So I guess it just makes sense he's here.
Watch the TV.
Yeah, he watched the TV and became Rambo, then kicked ass. He was so badass.
That Gizmo TV show is still coming out, but it's still not out, but it's still coming out. But
what is it gonna be about?
It's about the origins of Gizmo or something. I don't know, it's just cause I mean I'll let it pass, because they don't do anything. They do surprisingly little with Gremlins. Like for a popular 80s franchise, I feel like they milk it a lot in merchandise, but there's never been like a cartoon. They've been like trying to like write a sequel for years, but like it doesn't seem like it's ever getting made.
I think Gremlins 2 is just so insane. They can't think of anything to do to like continue from there because it's just so off the fucking wall.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know how you'd follow it up, honestly.
Because if you're not aware, the origin story of like Gremlins 2 and why it's like that is they begged the guy to come back to like make another one. And he's like, okay, I'll come back, but only if you let me do literally anything I want. And he did. He just made an insane cartoon movie.
Yep, and everyone was, and that was enough Gremlins for everyone, I guess.
And then the Germa CEO character is my most wanted character for Multiverses now.
Oh yeah, freaking Daniel Clamp.
Daniel Clamp will be in Multiverses.
Yeah.
All right. few more small things before we move into some of the bigger topics here. This is kind of a fun thing. I don't know if everyone will have a ton to say about it, but I thought it looked cool, and Rosa wanted to talk about it too, I believe. The developers of Yonoid 2, that game, have announced their kind of like first like not Yonoid game as a studio. I wrote the name down. I feel so stupid. Where'd I put it?
Called the big catch of the day.
Yes, it is fishing themed. The Big Catch. It is called The Big Catch. It is a 3D platformer themed to fishing. And it looks amazing visually. If you follow NitroRad, the man on YouTube, on Twitter, he made a tweet the other day about like, I wish more games looked like this, and it was kind of like a PS1 looking game, because like I agree with the notion, like I think graphics have advanced so much now, I just can't be impressed by like super ultra realism, like, which seems like a dorky thing to say sometimes. Like I think like people you say that like put a lot of games down, but like I do generally kind of feel bored with them. I think we're at a point where like I like to see stuff like this, just like artistic stuff. This looks like a 3DS game is usually how I put it. I love that 3DS style it kind of has. I'm excited for it. Yeah,
it's really good looking. God, just the animation is so smooth. It's like when I was watching, it's like, wow, this feels and looks familiar. Like Yonoid, of course. Like you could see in Yonoid 2 that a lot of the foundation was like there with the animation and like the hook mechanic and stuff.
Right.
It's like it all started with the Yonoid.
Yeah,
remember that.
If you haven't played Yonoid 2, it's like kind of set up as a joke platformer, but it's really like legit. It shows like mechanics and stuff. So it's cool they're making like a real one now.
Yeah, looks good. I'm glad to see games like this. I love stylization over just raw graphical. You know, it looks like CGI and it takes 7 years to make. You know, yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Looking forward to it. They have a Kickstarter they're doing right now. I feel like it'd be rude to be not to link that because we were just talking about it. Let me get that up real quick. What's going on?
God, that is such an amazing piece of artwork.
Yeah, go back it. I'm probably gonna end up backing it soon. I was waiting for my paycheck to come in, and now I can. I'm excited to help fund it because I think it looks very good.
Yeah.
Look so keen.
Last kind of smaller news bracket before we move on to the kind of the two things that'll probably take a bit more time. Rayman is not dead.
We have dug into his grave, opened up the coffin, and drug him out. There he is, his hair.
Rayman found alive. So, if you're not aware, and you probably are, they announced Rayman DLC for the upcoming Mario plus Rabbids game. It's going to be its own campaign, like the Donkey Kong one was. This is the game that keeps on giving for me. I feel like I feel like I have not lost for a single second with this game. This is my most anticipated game, like coming out next to Pikmin right now. I think. And
they added Rayman.
I've seen a few people kind of give the snarky comment like, "Oh, he's just a DLC campaign in a Rabbids game." But here's the thing: I think if you're very casually into Rayman, you don't keep up with like what he's going on with him. Rayman being a DLC for this Rabbids game that's like made like really high quality by like a really nice team is 1,000,001 times better than the 87th Rayman Endless Runner with the Rayman Legends assets. This is 1,000,000 times better. I don't care. I literally don't care that it's like, oh, he's succumbing to the Rabbids. I don't care. This is literally better.
What happened to his own series? Like, come on. I'm not going to play this.
I would rather them release something that's interesting and notable, which will get people's eyes back on Rayman, than Rayman Runner 48.
Rayman fans are gonna buy the DLC just like for Rayman. Like even if they maybe weren't 100% interested in the main game, this might get them.
Now let me tell you, I play Mario plus Rabbids, but I only ever finished the Donkey Kong DLC.
That's right.
Because because when I finally made it to it, all right, I gotta play this, and I was just so satisfied with it. I just couldn't keep going. It's like that was such amazing DLC.
No,
It is everything.
they tend to go a bit harder on mechanics because these DLCs tend to have a smaller cast, so they go a bit harder on the mechanics. And Donkey Kong's big thing is it went with like a lot of movement options. Donkey Kong can swing from like vines, and you can like pick other characters up and throw them. So I'm really because Rayman will almost certainly have some like crazy mechanic attached to him, and I'm excited to see whatever they do.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this game in general. They dropped some news about it during like a Ubisoft Direct that I stopped watching after 5 minutes because it was the first thing.
They really got you in the
yeah, they showed me what I wanted. I'm like, all right, I don't have to watch the rest of this.
They showed Wiggler and
I think it's a very pretty looking game.
No, people say this all the time about Switch games. Like, well, how's this running on the Switch? This is the most I've felt that like for real though. Like because like Luigi's Mansion 3, right? It's kind of like boxed in, like in the kind of box of like all these like detailed areas. But like this one's like an open game. It's like big areas, and like I'm really impressed what they've been able to do with this like console that feels like it's going to explode at any second. Sometimes when I play it,
it's such a clear show of like passion for this. Like I remember they say like in the interviews they say one of them like cried when he had the opportunity to make Mario plus Rabbids.
Yeah, he cried at the E3 when they first revealed it. That's kind of one of the infamous things about this game. I'm very excited to see all Yoko Shima's Rayman music covers. They'll do for the DLC. That'll be fun. I think it's very funny. These games are like, oh, we're gonna give you everything you would want from a Mario RPG, but you must let these cartoon rabbits into your heart.
Yeah, if you can't accept them, then you don't deserve it.
Mario's gonna fight new, unique enemies. He's gonna go to weird new places. You just have to let these cartoon rabbits into your heart.
Yeah. Open your heart, like they say in Heart Catch Pretty Cure.
So true.
Yeah.
So true, Umphy. Okay. I guess we should transition into the Nintendo thing that happened. Some sort of Nintendo related thing. What did you all think of the Farming Direct?
Okay.
I'm ready to do some farming.
Okay. Haystacks on the hilltops.
I noticed that.
There was a farming game that I was very excited to see there.
Really?
Yes. The quote story of Seasons A Wonderful Life remake is it's a game that I played a lot as a child. What happened here? Oh. Hello?
Give it a second. Wait, hold on.
Why?
Oh, there we go.
Playing Puzzle Plank Galaxy.
It's fitting for the direct.
Oh, is this our Nintendo discussion YouTuber music?
Yeah, it's because it's like farming music.
Oh, okay, I see. Anyway, so it was called Harvest Moon before, back in ye old day, and it was called A Wonderful Life. And I got it the first time I played it was I went to Blockbuster, and I rented it. And you played as a boy, and you could romance like all these different girls in the town, and you could farm, and there's like cows and stuff, and it was cute. It's very cute. It's got like kind of like that low poly art style. It was like really weird. I returned it to the Blockbuster, and at the Blockbuster I had it also, you know, had the option to buy games too, like for a decent price. I went back like 2 weeks later with my mom, and I said I want the Harvest Moon game, and they pulled out Harvest Moon Another Wonderful Life, which is the version of the game where you play as the girl. And I was really excited because I was like, cool, I can play as the girl. And then I realized that I had to marry the guy if I was playing the version where I was the girl. But it was, you know, I did my dues. I played it, all that sort of thing. But now it's back, and I get to play as the girl, and I get to marry a girl. So it's pretty good for me. I'm pretty excited about it.
You're gonna get Muffy soon.
I'm gonna, yeah, Muffy. Woo, Muffy, yeah, Muffy.
I was surprised to learn after I had watched this direct that there was unironic like farm game discourse. Like people like were actually debating like the worth of all the farm games in the direct, like whether there was too much or like people complaining about it. I was surprised because I just thought it was more funny than anything. Like I can't imagine in the year 2022 like still getting mad at Nintendo Directs that they're not good enough for you.
Yeah.
Like the farming thing was just funny. That's all it was to me. It was a little funny. Like, oh, it's funny there's farm games in this.
I don't know why people treat Nintendo Directs with such like reverence, I guess, as if it's like a TV show with writers, you know? Like it's just like a compilation of just games that are ready to be shown off, and they just
trailer
like,
compilation.
Yeah, and so it's just like, I mean, I think it's fair to be like, oh, that was kind of boring, or I wasn't that into that.
Right? Yeah.
But it's weird when people say like, oh, that was like the worst direct ever. It's like I don't. Do you like remember like a specific direct aside from like when it's a big like E3 event or something? I usually just remember specific game announcements. I don't remember like the stream as a whole.
Right,
like I don't know.
I remember when Luigi's Mansion 3 was announced, I couldn't tell you anything else that was in that direct.
Yeah. Exactly.
Didn't they immediately do like a treehouse after that one too, and played some like Luigi's Mansion? I can't remember very well.
No, Luigi's Mansion 3 we saw like really early. It's like we saw it before Luigi's like clothes were textured.
Right.
Oh, I do remember a direct or something where they did like talk about it more. Or
yeah, that was the E3 following. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see. I remember like Mario Odyssey's 2 really good trailers, and then like Breath of the Wild's first like actual trailer that actually showed shit in the game. That was pretty cool. The only Nintendo presentation like I remember like every beat up was like the Switch like presentation they did like when it was like I remember that. But like if you were to ask for like a direct for like the past like year or two, like what was like the big things in it, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't know why we're talking about it right now. Like we're talking just like it's fun to talk about these games. But, like I don't get like the high reference. Like we had to judge them like they're TV shows. Like the opinions people have.
Yeah.
But no, Ryan, if this we gotta go on to Rotten Tomatoes and rate this a Nintendo Direct. 6 out of 10.
All the directs on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Or in IMDb, you gotta put all the directs on IMDb and rate them like out of 5 stars or whatever the fuck.
IMDb has a lot of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some psycho just documenting all those on there.
Yeah. But does anyone have anything to say about the new Fire Emblem game? You just want to make sure.
Was that the one where they like had the lengthy intro, and there was like over like a big map of the world, and they were talking?
I'm gonna be honest. I watched this Nintendo Direct while I was at work, and I work at an animal shelter, and there's like constantly dogs barking. So I was just like on my phone, like in the corner of the kennels, like watching it on my phone.
Yeah.
And I like half the shit that happened in that Direct I was not looking at.
I watched it like I watched it after it started, so I just skipped through anything that I didn't really care about.
Yeah, I had to occasionally pause my stream, so every time it was just like something I didn't know or care about. I was like, all right, let me fast forward.
Yeah.
The new Fire Emblem guy has toothpaste hair.
Yeah.
That's
Pepsi.
Pepsi toothpaste hair.
Doesn't that Pokemon girl have that?
Probably.
Yeah.
Is that the same hair?
Pepsi hair. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything against Fire.
No, I don't either. I'm not a weirdo who still cares about Fire Emblem discourse because they hate Smash Bros. I just haven't played them because they're long games. I have like an hour to play games a week now. You can't play like long games anymore.
I already know that I'm not gonna play. If they announce 50 games, I already know I'm not gonna play even like half of them.
Finished Klonoa 2.
They showed It Takes Two coming to Switch.
I didn't even realize.
They did, and it looks rough. It's cool it's on Switch, but it's one of those like, oh, this looks rough on here. Kind of like.
It Takes Two is like a very beautiful game. I think last time I was on this podcast, I talked about It Takes Two. If you haven't played that game, go buy that game. What are you doing?
I want to find time to play it. It's probably a game I would play with Rosa. If we ever do.
You only need one copy of the game. It's a co-op game.
Maybe it's okay. We can roleplay being divorced.
Okay. Now where's my divorce cake?
I'll get you when we play It Takes Two. I promise.
We had to go to Australia for the spent in this divorce cake.
Of course. It was funny that SpongeBob was in this direct.
Oh yeah, SpongeBob was in the direct.
And they revealed his gay outfit. There is a SpongeBob outfit in this game that is, and I checked, specifically based on a SpongeBob they posted for Pride Month. It has the same color flow for it.
It's Pride Bob.
It's Pride Bob.
So yeah, that's cool. It's cool for all the gay people out there.
What was your thoughts? What was your thoughts on this, on the North Star boxing?
Yeah, finally a boxing game for me. I'm gonna get it.
I thought they were like what was it? It was a port of like the Fist of the North Star game that was done by like the Yakuza team.
And it was a Warp Fitness boxing game.
They're also I was thinking about the PlayStation State of Play. Sorry, I was about to talk about Yakuza, but no, go on.
Unfortunately, no Yakuza on Switch because it's great. Because like I think the director of Yakuza says like Switch is baby.
No, yeah, the director of Yakuza thinks the Switch is a Mickey Mouse console, doesn't want to put his games on it. Which I respect that song.
So petty.
Fair enough.
I think it's really funny he's like that. I'm not even mad, I think it's funny. They revealed more N64 games coming to NSO, and I think the three big ones are like all three N64 Mario parties are coming to Switch.
That was so funny. Mario Party. Mario Party 2. Mario Party 3.
I think we have our answer to why they never did Mario Party Superstars DLC.
There we go.
Oh, it's this? This is it?
Yeah, it's a little weird to think about. Like, they released that game, which is like, oh, here's all the N64 boards. And then like a year later, it's like, oh, here's just all the N64 games online anyway.
Yeah.
Don't forget about GoldenEye.
We'll get there. I want to talk about Mario Party.
Okay. I don't know why I said that. I love Mario Party.
I'm looking forward to Mario Party 3 the most. I think that one has insane items in it. I'm so excited for all the 10-year-olds who have never played Mario Party 3. And they're gonna learn about the reverse mushroom.
Oh
god.
I think that this is gonna be an interesting to see how the online works with the version, because surprisingly, or I guess not too surprisingly, Mario Party's Super Party.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
The new one. The online on that is actually really good. But I have played Kirby 64 online, and that sucked ass. So how the hell are they gonna do the N64 online Mario Party? That's just not going to work.
You'll figure it out.
Nintendo has so much confidence that the fact they put the Mario Party 1 control stick minigames in Superstars, and now they're putting Mario Party 1 on this just with like full confidence nothing will go wrong again.
It won't happen again, I promise.
It's so funny that they tell you in like the new one, like, oh, don't do it like this, by the way. You know, you don't do it. But then it's like everyone's gonna do it in the way that's really fast.
But if you don't do it, you lose.
Yeah, it's just stupid. Like, why would you tell us not to do it? Oh man.
But I love Mario Party, so I'm excited to have any more Mario Parties that are easy to play online. Hopefully that works at all.
I mean, also, even if the online doesn't work that well, which it probably won't, but I mean, it's nice to have those games like on an accessible console. Like if you have some friends over and you don't want to bust out your old N64 and like get all the cables out and like all the controllers and stuff, you can just put it on the TV on your Switch. That's like so much easier.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, stuff gets on the Switch. I will buy it just because it's easier. Then, like, I would rather buy a whole new version of the game than like find batteries for my Wii remote. You know.
Also, Pokemon Stadium's coming too.
Yes,
Pokemon Stadium.
I was gonna
Pokemon Stadium 2.
I was gonna say with that game, they gotta be doing like Game Boy Online, because otherwise there's nothing to those games but the mini games. But
those are the best part.
That is the best part, to be fair. But like, because the whole point of those games is you're supposed to like raise your Pokemon on Game Boy and then put them on N64 to do battles with them. It's a little weird if there's no like Game Boy Online coming. Like, be with that because it'd just be weird.
Yeah. They should do it. It's a handheld. There's no reason not to have Game Boys on the Switch.
Yeah, they do have the rented Pokemon, and I'm not gonna lie, me and my little sister used to use those rented Pokemon a lot because we were lazy and didn't want to bust out the stupid Game Boy connector to the N64 controller thing and get our copy of Pokemon Red in there. So it was just easy to just pick rented Pokemon. What we would do is to prevent us from like cheating by like picking the counter picks to all the Pokemon. Is that like I would pick my Pokemon and then I would go into the other room and close my eyes and my sister would come into the room and pick her Pokemon and then we would battle. That's how I played Pokemon Stadium as a child.
It's funny. There was a point in time where I was like, they don't need to make a Pokemon Stadium ever again because they're all in 3D now. I actually feel differently about that now because it's kind of become a thing where like there's no one game to have all the Pokemon in. That's like become kind of a problem. I think now having like a $20, it'd be $60, but like having a $20 like hub game for like every Pokemon ever to be in like kind of a stadium type would be good to have now.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Anyway,
yeah.
Go on.
Like a little. I was gonna say it's like that one Animal Crossing thing back in the Wii U.
Animal Crossing Plaza.
Oh God.
Yeah.
The one where it's like, they put all the models on the Wii U. There's gotta be a new one coming soon.
Oh boy.
It never came. So they showed GoldenEye. Very excited for all the 10-year-olds to realize how poorly aged that game is in terms of controls.
Whoa.
Leave it alone. You're right, but leave it alone.
The multiplayer is gonna be so fun.
Oh, the multiplayer is gonna be so insane.
Ryan, by the way, can you put this image on the screen already?
What is
it weird?
Oh,
just put it on there.
Yeah, okay.
Please. But yeah, it's also coming to Rare Replay. I think.
What's Rare Replay? This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Really? It's a thing on like Xbox where they have like a bunch of rare games.
I don't have an Xbox.
Well, it was popular because they re-released all the Banjo-Kazooie games on it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just own Banjo-Kazooie. I didn't know.
Well, do you own Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts? You could have.
I don't have an Xbox. I've never owned an Xbox console in my whole life. I've never played Halo.
However,
Halo, more like Galo.
I was about to say that.
I'm really here with some mature people tonight.
Yeah.
I've noticed the fact that the online play is exclusive to the Switch. So that's the only way you can play online.
Yeah.
GoldenEye. Yeah. It's not on Rare Replay. But yeah.
So is Rare Replay is not the same as Xbox Games Pass though?
No.
No, it's like its own game that just has rare games on it.
So you just play it, you pay the fee, and then it's just one time. It's like a game, basically.
Yes, it's like a game, basically. It's like actually a game.
It's like Namco Museum.
It's like actually awesome. What?
Yeah.
It's like a cup, but it says that's a person.
Yeah. Well, almost. It's a long story.
Wait, hold on. Rare Replay is on Game Pass, but not PC Game Pass. What's the difference?
What is the difference?
I'm guessing one's console only.
Why is there a console-only Game Pass? I guess for the console-only games. Okay.
But Rare Replay is not on PC Game Pass?
Is it on PC?
I don't think so.
It's not on PC.
So what's the point?
What do you mean, what's the point? You can play it on your Xbox?
I don't have an Xbox. See?
Well, get one!
Why?
Guys.
So you can play Rare Replay, so you can play GoldenEye.
You always spend $800 on that fucking mini refrigerator.
Guys, come on. Stop arguing. I want to talk about various things.
Listen. Lou.
Yeah.
You could mod that Xbox to play other games, and even games like Monster Inc. Dodgeball.
I have that game. I have that GameCube game. I'm looking
Do you unlock all the characters yet?
I don't have time to unlock all the characters, Rosa.
Luke, call into work and tell them I need to unlock all the characters in Monsters Inc. Dodgeball.
I have never played. Okay, I have to tell you something.
Yeah.
The only reason I own that game is because Rosa said, when I come to visit you, You better have that game. I haven't even played it yet. I haven't even opened the case.
You haven't even played Monsters Inc. Dodgeball?
I don't even know if the game is in the case. I just bought it.
Open it right now and check.
Don't know.
Okay, I'll go look right now.
You're gonna open
look
it.
Take a picture.
You're gonna open it and it's like Dosha the Giant in there.
I hope it's like when I bought Super Monkey Ball, and it was like a Russian copy, and I couldn't play it. And then they released the new game anyway, and I bought that too. I hope it's exactly like that.
I'm waiting for Lou's response. I need to know.
Yeah.
Where is it?
She lost it.
Is there anything Lou won't be interested in that we can talk about right
Yeah, I
now?
want to talk about Various Day Life real quick.
Which farm game is that?
No, it's not a farm game. It's a Square
Is it an
Enix.
anime game?
It's one of those Square Enix games where they name them weird names.
Square Enix had like 5 games in this thing, didn't they?
Square Enix just makes a lot of things for the Switch. Just the
They
Switch.
love it.
Yeah,
Well, it's 'cause-
even
I
like
found it. Wait, is this the right game?
What?
What's it called
take a
again?
picture.
Monsters Inc. How many Monsters Inc. games for the game do
It's
you
called,
have?
it's called Monsters Inc. Scream Arena.
That's it, right?
I don't know.
You don't know? Yes,
What do you mean
what?
you don't know? You're the one who asked me to get the game.
Hello?
Oh
Lou,
my
you're
God.
being mean to me right now.
Yeah, you're being kind of mean right now, Lou.
I'm so sorry. Here's
They
the,
need to
here,
put-
you know, Rosa. Here's the game. It's in there.
Oh.
I checked.
Do you take a? Oh yeah, that's right, Ron. That's the one.
Look at that. $15 at Replay's
then.
game.
Uh,
Alright, I'll
Fuck
buy
it.
his lunch.
Put it on the screen right now.
oh my god, you people are insane. I
I
want
like
to.
that they put the sticker on Mike on purpose.
I want to say that Pauline being Mario Strikers would
Oh
have
my god! I gotta buy the game right now. Where's my Switch?
been huge news before that game came out. And everyone realized they didn't care about it.
Oh.
I don't want to get into a whole tirade about it. I think Nintendo again. I probably did this before. Yeah, I think Nintendo beefed Mario Strikers so hard to an absurd degree on Switch.
They launched without Daisy.
Yeah, that's like insane to me because like no matter how you feel about Daisy, like whether you're like normal or a YouTuber who gets weird about Mario girl characters, Daisy like is like a staple character, right? It's insane she wasn't at launch, and then she was the first one they added. So it just feels like they didn't have time to put her
They
in.
knew.
Yeah,
They knew, like,
I think I sometimes feel like they were arguing with like Nintendo higher ups on her animation.
what do you mean? She should.
Well, Daisy's a very vulgar person.
That's true. She does the thing like she sticks her tongue in her fingers.
no, but like
Sure.
I mean it. I don't think I've seen a Nintendo like first party release get talked about like less after launched than Mario Strikers Battle League. I literally like the day after it came out, people stopped talking about it like immediately. It died faster in the public conscious than the $15 Kirby eShop game did.
Do you think once they add Koopa Troopa though, like as a playable?
Oh, Tommy's gonna be hyped.
Yeah. What does Tommy think about Pauline?
Oh my God, they're adding Koopa Troopa to Mario Strikers. I gotta go get my Switch. Hold on.
Yeah.
I had wondered that a ton. Does Nintendo think when they put like Koopa like as post-launch DLC, people are just gonna rush to go get the game?
I mean,
Oh.
they did that with Shy Guy too. So
Like
Even Kirby knew. Even Kirby knew if they were gonna pull that, they needed to add like Adeline and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I love the prospect of someone being like, "Oh shit, man, Monty Mole's gonna be in it now. I gotta go out and get it."
You say that, but my girlfriend really likes Monty Mole. She's really sad that you can't play him in the new Mario Party.
But does she
I
care
mean-
that you can't play as him in Mario Strikers?
Is she gonna buy it if Monty Mole is added?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'll ask her.
X party right now.
Yeah.
Okay. She might be listening in.
On a
Hey,
similar
Artie.
topic.
Hey,
Oh.
Artie, if I'm asking my girlfriend something.
Sorry.
Hold on a second. Hey, Artie, if they put Monty Mole in Mario Strikers Battle League, would you buy the game?
Is she watching?
I don't know.
I thought you were gonna like call on your phone or something.
Oh
Like,
no,
text her.
I'm not gonna do that.
No.
She just said no. She responded no.
Okay.
No, it's so weird. Like, Multiverses' like launch, like demo launch, had more to do with it than Mario Strikers does right now. Months after launch with updates, Nintendo is so bad at these kind of post-launch DLC update games, except for like Splatoon, because they keep trying to make these couch co-op games into like those like kind of online experience type games, right? Like ones where like you keep coming back to, but they don't ever put in the stuff those games need, like battle passes or whatever, like things like, oh, when you play online, like your thing goes up and you unlock stuff. They don't ever put stuff like that in the game. They stopped updating them after like 8 months. And then they launched at 62. So most people who are gonna play these games are gonna play the worst version of it.
Yeah.
I just don't buy them anymore. I think Mario Golf being like really boring to me was like, I don't want to buy these anymore. I think I'm good.
Ground Cracker event.
I think the last like Mario sports game I bought was like Mario Tennis on the Wii U. That was like the last one, and I was like, you know what? This just isn't Mario Power Tennis, and I had to put it away. I sold that game. It's dead now.
At the very
What?
like they kind of just went down after like tennis, even like Aces, was it? Mario Tennis Aces.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one at least was a bit more, but just still missing a lot of stuff, you know.
And you know, on a similar tragic note, Nintendo Switch sports fans, we're gonna have to wait a little longer.
Okay, I want to talk about that right now. That's gotta be the funniest announcement in this entire direct, guys. This game everyone forgot came out. Nintendo Switch Sports. So we gotta delay the golf update.
Oh no! They can't finish the golf update. We have to delay it. Okay.
Do you think that there's somebody actually genuinely pretty upset about that?
Tommy. Did Tommy even care?
No, I don't think Tommy cares about golf. Like, what if there's just some like old guy who like, you know, has been playing, you know, Wii Sports since the Wii, and he wants to play the new one on the Switch, and his like grandson got him a Switch and set it up for him, and then he's like, Grandpa, they're not. The golf is going to be delayed, and then the grandpa gets really sad because he's probably going to die soon before the comes out.
No, look, the grandpas in the world just still have a Wii that they play.
So here's the thing about Nintendo Switch Sports: it actually sold a lot. Like, it sold really well, but like it's such like a big like gap between like us as people and like super casual gamers who are buying this. And I think a few Nintendo fans probably bought this and stopped playing after 2 days. Is also what happened. But I think doing this kind of update system for like Switch Sports is insane to me, because like the 8-year-olds who bought this and the grandmas who bought this aren't gonna know that golf got added to this game.
Yeah, they're
gonna turn the game on after not playing it for like 3 months, and they're gonna like look at the golf icon like bewilderment because they're like, was that there?
They're gonna think they have dementia. Like,
God.
Because the 8-year-olds who bought this have moved back to Fortnite. They don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And then
is anybody who cares about the golf update to Nintendo Switch Sports watching a Nintendo Direct?
No.
And the ones who would don't even know what a Nintendo Direct is.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It was just a funny thing to announce. I said this. I feel like that says something about like the state of like video game development just in the modern day, that the free golf update needs to be delayed. That's why we need more like games that look like PS2 games. The golf update wouldn't have taken this long.
I mean, it already does.
Oh, come on. It's got graphics.
I've played that game. It's fun. It's not worth the price of admission.
The new guys are still ugly. No one's going to change my mind on that. If you love Bitmojis, I'm sure you'll love these new guys.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I want to talk about when Miyamoto walked on now.
Oh my god! Yes.
When my dear friend Shigeru Miyamoto walked on the screen and said, "We're making a Mario movie." Anyway,
it's been a whole year since we announced the Mario movie.
I was so scared that I was about to see a Mario movie trailer. Like for a half second, when he was just lingering on the Mario movie just a little too long, I said, "Don't do it, please. I'm not ready. I can't see it right now." Yeah. And then he just kind of brushed it aside, like, "Okay, well, now we're done talking about that."
It's funny because I kind of knew he wasn't gonna like show a trailer, because I feel like when the Mario movie trailer is coming, we're gonna know. Like, there's gonna be like some insiders talking about it. There's gonna be like a report, like, yeah, you should keep your eye out for it tomorrow or something. Like,
we're gonna Twitter page will get created and they'll show like a silhouette of Mario the day before the trailer drops.
Yeah, we'll know when it's coming, which is why I kind of knew. But it was funny he just said that. But then he just said, "You know, Pikmin."
Yeah.
And then he proceeded to talk about the phone game for 4 minutes. The phone game that's been out for a year. There's like he didn't like announce any updates for it. He was just talking about it for like 4 excruciating minutes.
I love this YouTube comment, that I just random YouTube comment I saw. Of this guy saying he hates Miyamoto because he talks too much. There it is, right here.
I'm gonna put this on screen. I should stress, I think it's funny that this happened. I'm not like mad about it or anything. But he talks about the phone game for 4 minutes. It's no new info. We all know this game's been out now for a long time, and he just keeps going and going. And then at the very
he just explains it like the newest Switch RPG's mechanics.
And then he's like, "Yeah, all right, on to the main event." I'm convinced, like, partially they did that portion just like as a tease, like they knew what they were doing. And then they announced Pikmin 4 in a very short trailer, but it was a trailer for Pikmin 4.
It was.
Man, it was amazing.
I've been waiting so long.
It's coming out next year too.
It's so close now. It's in a form I can see it now, which is crazy to me. Like, it's not like a metaphorical Pikmin game. It's a physical Pikmin game that like so I can perceive with my eyes and know what it's gonna be like, right?
Right. This has characters.
Not like a cloud. It's not like a cloud of like haze, like hanging over our heads, waiting to like form at any moment. It's like tangible.
It's not even like Metroid Prime 4, where it was just the logo. We saw the game like in game. We saw a bit of it. It's real.
It's real life.
They didn't show any gameplay, and they showed like a few this screenshot and like some kind of pan by footage of like some of the environments. So there's not a lot. Yeah. There's not a lot to like go on, and yet there's everything to go on.
I right off the bat, I want to
tell
say
us, right. You know so much about Pokemon.
This yeah, okay. This backyard park area is something I've kind of wanted them to do for so long, because they've kind of done a lot of areas that kind of feel away from like where humans were. Because if you're not aware, Pikmin takes place in a world where like humans are gone, pretty much. We've done a lot of areas that kind of like nearish where humans are, but like they're mostly like in fields and ponds and kind of lakes and stuff.
Gardeny kind of stuff.
Gardeny, yeah. This is kind of the first Pikmin like area, like besides like one of the bonus levels, like in Pikmin 3, we're like on a table. Like you're kind of explicitly in an area where like humans were, like it's someone's backyard.
Oh my gosh, wait, Ryan. Do you think this could mean that we're gonna get the Pikmin, like they accidentally get like shuffled onto like a bus or something, and then when they get off, they're in the big city. They're in New York. Pikmin in New York, and they're running around and they're tiny.
I think that there could be a lot to explore in like a more I don't know, like a suburban neighborhood Pikmin level would be like really fun. I think to be around.
I want to see a lot more environments like this. Yeah, I want to see a lot more environments where like humans clearly were. Like I think like a greenhouse or something, or like somebody's like abandoned home, or like a beach, cool. like somewhere that's like very clearly a beach.
Yeah.
I do think though that the screenshot you have here, I think that's Brittany. I don't know who else it would be.
I think it's not Brittany. because her ears are pointed and Brittany's ears are rounded.
Ooh,
I can't even
look
tell.
at that, Lo.
No, Lou, you know me. I've stared at this image for hours and hours on end.
It just seems kind of like a not smart decision to make two girl characters who have like pretty much the exact same color hair and like style.
I mean, if you look at Alpha and Olimar, they're pretty similar.
Fair enough, but like I feel like if they were gonna make a new girl character, they'd want to like, I don't know, make her look a little more distinct.
Maybe it's the son of Brittany.
Maybe it's Brittany's daughter.
Yeah.
I think this is a new character. Yeah, I don't think this is Brittany.
I'm gonna put my foot down. I think it's Brittany, but we'll
the ears. Would their ears just transform?
I don't care. I think it's Brittany.
People's ears don't transform.
But
oh my god!
I've been at an asterisk to this. I think that's not Brittany, but I also think Olimar's going to be one of the captains in this. I think he will be playable in the main story this time.
Okay.
I think it's going to be 3 again. I think it's going to be 3 captains because I think that's really important to like the gameplay now. I think it will be 3 captains, and I think it'll be Olimar. Oh god.
What if they add like a 4th?
They tried that and they said it just wasn't working. I could see them trying again, but they said it was always way too much to handle. I think 3 is the sweet spot. And I think they're gonna stick with 3. I think it's gonna be Olimar, this character, and I couldn't tell you what the 3rd one is. It could be Louis or Charlie or the president. It could be anyone.
Well, because like Brittany and Co. and like Alf and Charlie, they're from a different planet than Olimar and stuff. So it'd be a matter of, are they like staying in contact with each other? Are they all like going back together, or is it just going to be like Olimar and a new crew essentially?
I think it's going to be Hokatations for sure. I think it's going to be like Olimar's species.
Okay. It would be kind of funny if they were his kids.
I've heard that discussed, but Olimar does have a daughter, but she's blonde.
Yeah, that's true.
I think this is just like a new character. I'm excited to see what it is. This is such like a. I always wonder when Nintendo like puts like an image like this up, do they know like we're gonna speculate on like it? Like, did they very intentionally pick the screenshot where she's like away from the camera and like they knew the character like looked like Brittany a bit, so they knew we'd talk about it and like discuss it. Like I always think about that. Like, did they know? Did they know?
I'm curious to see how this like new camera is gonna work.
It's got a very like low angle. Like usually Pikmin's like a top-down-ish kind of game.
Yes, my theory is it's going to have a 360 camera. I like give you options. Like if you want that top-down view, still you'll have that. But if you want to like be a bit more lower, you can have that too.
It's like an open world Pikmin game.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be like gameplay like changes based on that like alone.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
If you want to play Pikmin in this mode, in this kind of angle, you know, there's a lot of stuff that would be kind of annoying or unfair if you like, you know, didn't want to like switch to the other camera.
They're gonna add a dodge roll.
They probably will.
Pikmin 3 has a dodge roll.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, you can make all the captains of Pikmin roll together in Pikmin 3.
Whoa.
All right. Well, there you go.
So cool.
Also apparently in Pikmin 2. I don't remember that.
They do. I think it's gonna be like that. I think you'll just have. I think there's gonna be just a bit more camera control this time. Is probably what's gonna happen. This game looks beautiful too. It looks really good. Pikmin 3 was already one of the best looking games on the Wii U, and this like looks even better than that, like by like a decent margin so far already. The lighting is incredible for what we saw. They kind of tweaked the Bulborb's design to be like kind of an in between of like 3 and 2s. Like it's very colorful. It's a bit simpler, but it's very colorful, and I like that. It's got really nice colors.
Yeah.
There's so much to want from this game. Like it's got a. I don't envy it. It's good. You know, I mean, because I know. So I enjoy Pikmin quite a lot, and I love 3 a lot. But I do know that there are like hardcore fans of like the first 2, who, you know, thought 3 was like too easy in some regards, and I just think it's like a more fair game than some of the older Pikmin.
I'm gonna be honest. I think part of the reason 3 is easier than 1 or 2 is just because it's a better designed game. I'm just gonna be a bit blunt about that.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like Pikmin like 1 is like so aggravating to have to do anything with your Pikmin. Like if you want to choose a specific color, you have to like separate them and then pick the one you want and shit.
If Pikmin 1 had Pikmin 3's mechanics, it like wouldn't be a problem like at all.
Right? Yeah. And that's the thing. But I think people are going like I remember they added like, you know, the quote unquote like harder difficulty in Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and it's like sort of, it's not really, you know, much harder at all. I really didn't notice a difference, but there, I think that I would like to see, you know, some of the like something a little more challenging without being like, you know, stupid.
They need to bring back all the Pikmin 2 caves where they can just drop bombs on you out of nowhere.
Like it would be cool if they like brought the caves back, but like actually made it you know, fun.
Pikmin 2 is the Gremlins 2 of Nintendo, and that I feel like they were just told to do whatever they want, so they made this hell game where bombs fall from the ceiling and blow you up out of nowhere. Half the enemies can super murder kill you.
They can kill like all your Pikmin in one move.
the water wraith exists at all.
God,
they were having a laugh.
Yeah, and like I like that stuff's fun and funny, and I think it'd be fun to see some of that in like Pikmin 4, where you can at least get like a grasp on it, so you're not just like running into a wall over and over again.
You want to talk about the new game? So actually, let me wrap up Pikmin 4. I'm so excited for this. I think we won't see this game again though until E3. I think it's gonna miss whatever like the February-March direct is. I don't think it will be there, but I think it's gonna be like a big. Like one of those games they spend like 5 minutes on, like at an E3 direct, I think is when we'll see it again.
Yeah, I think that because we haven't gotten a lot of info on it now means that it's probably not ready to be shown off anymore.
Yeah,
and so it's probably going to be like a late next year like release.
I think it's we're going to see it again at E3, and then it'll release in the fall in 2023. That is my prediction for Pikmin 3.
Okay. You mean 4?
4, yeah, it's gonna be. You know, I'm still calling Breath of the Wild 2, Breath of the Wild 2.
You're right.
But speaking of
that, Tears of the Kingdom.
Do you guys want to talk about the new game from the creators behind Danganronpa?
No, I do not.
No.
A new game from the creator of Danganronpa.
I noticed that. What is it? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I just remember pronouncing it like that.
Yeah, that's all I remember.
He goes Danganronpa.
Yep, that's how it does. Murder in the Classroom.
Did you like the Just Dance trailer?
No.
What is that? Are they like making Just Dance like an update game? Is that what they said? Is that what happened?
I don't know.
Is that what it is now? Okay.
Just Dance like baffles me. I know it still like sells, but every time I see it, I just can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, there's always new songs coming out though.
There's always new songs. The creators of Danganronpa.
Shut up.
New songs from Danganronpa?
From the creators.
From the creators of Danganronpa. Dance Till You Die?
So what do we all think of the 3D Donkey Kong game from the Mario Odyssey team?
Wait, we need to talk about cultivating the crops and befriend the townsfolk in this new farming simulator coming this fall.
Did you talk about the Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD?
No. See, we need to talk about the fact that Goofy was soft confirmed for Disney Speedstorm.
So that happened?
Yeah. So Goofy Goofy hasn't been confirmed for that game yet, and during the sizzle reel they showed Goofy in that game. So good news, everyone! Goofy confirmed for Disney Speedstorm. The hype couldn't be more real.
They couldn't get him in Disney Infinity, but they sure as hell got him in Disney Speedstorm.
What is this? What is Disney Speedstorm?
It's a free-to-play
iPhone game.
It's a free-to-play kart racing game with your favorite Disney characters, such as Goofy and Raya and the Last Dragon. I think.
No, she's not in it yet.
Sorry, yet. My bad.
Well, I mean, I don't see Purple Reptar. Just saying.
Yeah.
They're gonna be Purple Raya.
Yeah, Purple Raya.
So they did a sizzle reel. They were doing like just one of their Nintendo Direct sizzle reels. Yeah, that's where we saw Goofy, and then with no warning, with no build up, literally smash cut right into it. Oh yeah, by the way, we're remaking Kirby's Return to Dreamland.
Oh yeah.
Really?
That was pretty funny. How many people just like went like, what?
Yeah,
when that like came on the screen.
I did. I was like, what?
Because we were joking like the night before. I think about like what would show up in the Nintendo Direct, and you and I, Ryan, were like, oh man, you know, we haven't heard from Kirby a lot lately. I mean, it'd be really great to see if Hal Labs is doing anything with the Kirby series.
this year.
Yeah, so I want to tell you just a little anecdote about this.
Mhm.
So, like a few days before Kirby Dream Buffet game like was announced, I was like lamenting to Artie. I was like, I really want another Kirby game, and she was like, "You just got one, like with Forgotten Land. Like, can you just be happy with that." And then that came out, and then the night before the Nintendo Direct, I was playing Splatoon 3, and I was playing. There's like a really really hard secret level.
Right.
And I was like getting really sad and mad at it. It was aggravating. I was like in misery, and Artie was watching me. And I was like, what would make me feel like really good is if they announced a new Kirby game tomorrow. And then she's like, that's not happening. You got 2 this year. Just be happy with that.
It's not happening.
And then it happened.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, I think I have to like get used to that again, because there was a while. Because usually they do release a lot of Kirby games, because it's like the only thing HAL makes.
Yeah.
Really, it's their thing. And they stopped for a little while because I think they were just finishing Forgotten Land. So we got a rare year with no Kirby games, like last year.
I also imagine they were stockpiling for like the 30th, because unlike a lot of other Nintendo franchises, HAL actually cares about their anniversaries.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we're finally like, Forgotten Land has been released, so now we can just get kind of a game every now and then.
I think Return to Dreamland was a very targeted release for them, and I want to explain why. I think they knew when they released Forgotten Land, this was going to be like a game that gets a lot of people into Kirby. Like this was going to be a lot of people's like starting point, and I think they specifically chose Return to Dreamland because it's kind of the starting point of what Kirby is now. It's a fantastic starting point for like Kirby as a franchise, and I think it's like a really convenient thing to like show people who are getting into Kirby now. Like, okay, this is kind of like what you could expect from Kirby. A lot of all the major players are there, like the 4 main characters, and then Magolor's kind of like the 5th ranger of Kirby now. So he's like important to see. I think it's a very targeted release, and I also think my other theory is they're using this engine, and they're gonna get the tripled Lux and Robobot eventually.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think that'd be great.
Ooh, I want that so bad. I'm sorry, but Robobot is like my top 3 Kirby games. I love that game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited for this.
I think this was a title that a lot of people. I heard it get brought up a lot as like something that they should do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great to see that they actually made it. I feel like, it was a very smart thing to release. And yeah, they don't do Kirby doesn't do remakes a ton.
No, not
like
they've done Superstar Ultra and nothing else. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, there's
in Dreamland. It's just technically a.
Oh, that's true.
Sort of.
Yeah.
And there's Extra Epic Yarn.
Yeah, I love that game. I'm the only one who's played Extra Epic Yarn.
Yeah, I want to get that actually.
You haven't even played it.
No, I know. That's like one of the few Kirby games that I just didn't buy because I like played Epic Yarn for the first time recently at that point.
Okay.
So I was just like, I don't really. I think now I'd play it.
It's fun. You get to play as Meta Knight.
Yeah, it seems fun.
It's got like a lot of extra little mode stuff.
When you do that.
But yeah, I'm interested to see this sort of stuff they bring into this. I think also Return to Dreamland is a really feels like a very central point for a lot of like Kirby lore. I think.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I imagine there's probably going to be some additions to that.
I have a very strong. You know they're going to do something with that Galactonite fight.
I feel like they're not. I would be surprised. I would be a little surprised if they like resisted adding at least one new boss that had like something to do with that.
They might even. I mean, there's a potential for like big new stuff to be added. It's just kind of like extra content in this game.
Oh, I believe the bonus like challenges from the 30th anniversary or 25th anniversary Wii game they did. I think those are going to be in this. So they're going to add one for Mecha too.
Oh,
yeah,
and I think it's an extension to that. Smash was one of the power-ups you could get in that challenge mode. I think they're gonna add Smash, the power-up, to like the main game.
Ooh, yay!
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm interested. To see what they add. I mean, Superstar Ultra like doubled the length of that game. I don't know. I don't think it'll be that crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Especially since this is like a remake from the same director.
Mm.
I'm assuming still the same director on this. So there's probably not as much they like feel the need to add on to, but I imagine there's probably going to be some more details. I think it'll be interesting seeing, because this is the first game to have well, not the first. It was one of the first to have like pause screen lore.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So I wonder. I imagine they'll do more of that. I'm interested to see like they'll probably have like get retranslated too. So I'm interested to see if like I don't know if any new details get added through that, because it feels like I feel like in like Forgotten Lands is like the game they realize like people like actually care a lot about the Kirby lore. And so if you look at the translations for Forgotten Land, most of it is like sticks very close to the original text. Because also Kumazaki says he talks with the people like localizing the games and like tells them more lore than there's actually in the games.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that leads to more like accurate translation. So yeah, I hope we get to see some of that.
Yeah, hopefully the social justice localization team doesn't make Bandana Waddle the non-binary.
Yes.
Finally.
Going against Kuzumi, who hates... I'm not continuing this joke, it sucks!
I want to talk about the big thing about this game, though.
Oh,
yeah, Diddy?
Yeah, King Dedede's design is kick-ass. I like that they're using his, like, kind of... I call it the Forgotten Land model, but it's also kind of, like, harkens back to, like, you know, like, Crystal Shards era, you know, like Dark Matter Trilogy DDD.
I think some of the reactions to this design, I understand. I think how do I word this? I think a lot of people online, because like Anime DDD and Smash DDD are kind of the two most known versions of him, and they're like very loud and bodacious and like super over the top. But DDD, in a lot of games, is often portrayed as very quiet and like more grumpy than anything. He's not like super bodacious or whatever. I think if you know DDD for that, I can understand like this design being kind of weird. But as someone who's like known, like, because DDD gets interpreted in a lot of different ways, but and him being kind of like a bit more muted in expressions and a bit like more grumpy than like super loud is something I'm used to. So like this design like kind of makes sense to me, I guess.
I'm gonna be honest. This is maybe sacrilegious to say, the original design they had for him in like the Wii version of the game, I've never been a huge fan of that. I think he looks, I understand why he looks the way he does. You know, I have to make him small to be playable, but you know, big enough to look like King Dedede. But also, I think the proportions are a little awkward. I think they nailed it more in like that kind of look in the 3DS games, but in the Wii, he looks really awkward. I don't know. I don't love it. No,
to go back, I also think the new design they're using right now, internally at HAL, I think is appealing, because that's always been a problem with DDD. Is he's playable a lot, but he's also like he has a very big emphasis on he's bigger than like Kirby, and that has to be like part of his design element. And I think they were always struggling to like find like he needs to be bigger than Kirby, but small enough to be playable. I think they kind of tested a lot of things, and I think this kind of egg shape they're going with now, like this shape, I think is appealing for HAL, because it's a lot easier to like shrink and like grow it without changing his proportions too much. And even when he's smaller, he's a bit wider than he used to be. So even when he's smaller, he's like more wide than Kirby and looks bigger.
Yeah, it's a good look for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you know, him looking a bit more rounded, you know, fits with Kirby.
Yeah, they talked about in a Forgotten Land interview that because he's always kind of had like a triangular sort of shape, like he's always been like sort of bottom heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they said they wanted to like make it a bit more like continuous, like he's one continuous shape.
Right.
I think that is neat. I am a little conflicted. I think it might have been better if they made his face a bit closer to like a traditional look. Just because it is kind of like weird when you compare it to the original. Because like the other designs of the characters are like a lot of it's just mostly just updated. Like they look different if you compare them. But yeah, I think going forward, I think it'd be neat to see them sort of unify like this very like distinct look for him with like the more traditional look, because they still seem to be using like his like more standard design for like merch and like the Nendroid and stuff. I imagine they won't drop that just because that's just kind of his like traditional design. But I think it'd be nice to see if like, you know, I guess sort of get a combination of that. I think people would be probably warmer to that a bit.
Right.
I think his shape is really good though. Yeah.
All right. Who's ready to talk about Zelda for the last time we talked about the DDD design?
Yeah.
I just think there's listen. I love Zelda. There's some people who like will take these 10-second trailers that we've been like are these scraps that have been thrown to us, and will like analyze them like frame by frame and pull out all this additional information. I do not have time for that. You either tell me what this game is about, or I will wait patiently for more information to come out. There seems to be some really cool like new mechanics coming. A lot of stuff like playing with like time and stuff like that. I think that's going to be really neat. But I can't tell you anything else I feel about it because it just looks like a game I will enjoy, and I don't really know enough about it.
I'm sure whatever early 2023 Direct is going to be the one where they finally talk about this one for more than 3 seconds.
God, it's.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even beat the first game yet.
You know, listen, Pikmin 4 is different.
Yeah.
I mean, does anyone know what the story is? It's like people in the sky. I don't really know. I mean,
it's generally believed it'll probably tie back to Skyward Sword in some way, like that game's lore, because that really seemed very targeted. And there's like islands in the sky. There'll probably be something there. But I think the thing about Nintendo in this game is, I know it's gonna sell 1 million bajillion copies.
They don't have to sell it to me. It's already sold.
The trailer, this specific trailer they dropped for this Direct has the most retweets and likes of anything they've ever posted on the Nintendo America Twitter ever. Second to Reggie's like resigning. It is the second to that. And all this trailer was 40 seconds of footage and a title drop. This game is gonna sell no matter what they do, and I think they know that. So they're kind of choosing to be more serious about it.
Yeah. I guess I don't have much else to say. There's a dragon, right?
There's a dragon in Breath of the Wild too.
Oh, and the
goes,
okay.
Dragon! Yeah, that's the exact thing I thought of.
I think it looks fun. I like that weird like paraglide. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a metal bird you fly on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Looks cool. I want that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
in real life. I want that. Buy that for me,
father. I like remember hearing, you know, discussions. I don't really look into it too much. I'd rather just go into it as blind as possible. But you know, people talk about it's like reusing the map from the first one, and like however, you know, that works. I don't really know. Like I said, we really don't know a lot about like the core gameplay of this game. I was never a big huge fan of like shrines and the dungeons in the first Breath of the Wild. That's are like my least favorite parts to do, which those are like the thing you're supposed to do. So I'm interested to see if they'll like do some like quality of life improvements and you know, just maybe change some of that up. They probably won't get rid of shrines. I mean, shrine was like the thing they did. They probably had like 100 more shrines on the back burner, just like ready to be implemented. But I don't know. I hope they do something kind of wacky and silly.
Silly. All right, everyone. Guys, what was your rating on this Direct?
I mean,
3
7, 6, 5,
3
out of 10.
3 ears of corn out of 5.
Yeehaw! You know what my rating for this direct was? I think it was one rootin' tootin' direct.
All right.
You know, that's pretty good. That's what I would say.
So before we get to our second kind of Rosa.
I mean, I don't have much to say anymore now.
Okay, I was gonna say I forgot this in the smaller things. Hey Lou, do you want to talk about Overwatch real quick?
Okay.
Let me take care of this.
Russ is like, step aside, I got this.
Step aside, Sora.
So Overwatch, Octoberwatch. Here's the thing about Overwatch. I have played this game too much. I was a big TF2er. I played a lot of TF2. I have like over 1,000 hours in that game. It was like one of the first online shooters I really got into as a kid. And then when I was in college, Overwatch was born, and it's pretty fun. I liked the game a lot. I put a lot of hours into it, and things just kept getting worse. And I still play, you know, until everything kind of exploded. But Overwatch's history is so strange because I feel like people who weren't there for like Overwatch's like, or weren't paying attention, I should say, for like Overwatch's original like launch and like boom in popularity, you couldn't escape seeing this game like anywhere. It was like all over YouTube, it was all over social media, like it was one of them, like it printed money for Blizzard. This was such a big fucking game. And now it's been like, I don't know, what's the year? Like 6-7 years?
2014, 2016.
Yeah, it was like out of like a beta, and then it was like launched, I think, officially in like 2016.
Sorry, just for a second. I love whenever Ryan's bored, she just starts typing like crap in the chat.
I know, right? She asked.
I was having fun. Role played as Winston.
So here's the thing that I want to put this on the record. I've said this before. I don't think that you can compare TF2 to Overwatch, and this is why. TF2 and Overwatch were both made as like, how do I say this?
One was giving birth and the other was made in the lab.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, where's the soul? Overwatch.
Oh, and then Timmy Turner goes, "Hey, Flappy Bob, can't you see where is the soul?" That was the joke. Thanks. I'm gonna go. I'll go. I'll leave. Bye. That was Keep going.
Oh no. Oh.
No, but it's okay. So what I'm trying to say is like TF2 when in its heyday, like you go into a game. There's like 50 people in the lobby, and you're just doing whatever, like stupid shit is happening all over the map. You're having a blast. People are like yelling at each other over chat, like voice call. It's chaos. It's fun. You know, you do all sorts of. There's just crazy shit happening everywhere, and you can like, I don't know, be eating a sandwich and playing TF2, and it doesn't matter. You're still gonna be MVP. When you play Overwatch, you're in a game with exactly 12 people. And if you are not paying attention to that game, you will die and then get yelled at by your teammates in like 3 seconds, and you will not have any fun. You have to be like on. You have to be paying complete attention to the game at all times. And it's just because the simple fact is that these two shooters were made in different like climates. I want to say like you play TF2 climates. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
Different climaxes.
Okay.
Or like it's really hard to compare the two. The only reason people compare them is that they're both FPS shooters that have like hero like basically like hero selection modes or whatever. And the issue with Overwatch, where it is now, is that it flew too close to the sun because it's a pretty polished game. Like even if you hate Overwatch, and like I don't blame you, it's very polished, or at least, you know, there was a lot of thought put into like the animations and like the gameplay and stuff. Like I remember seeing this video long ago when people were like analyzing how the guns like animated and stuff. Like Junkrat is this like Junker character, and his gun, every time you shoot it, it like shakes like it's about to fall apart because he just like cobbled it together, like versus like other people's, like there's a lot of polish to it. But it's just they don't know what they want to do with it now, to the point where they hastily announced this sequel and nobody knew what the fuck it was going to be. There was people saying, "Oh, it's going to be a story mode. They're putting a story mode to Overwatch 2." And then they're like, "No, it's like a new Overwatch. They're going to do like new team stuff and they're going to make new characters and it's going to be like a separate game with like separate servers." And it's like, "Okay, sure." And then they come out saying, "Oh, by the way, when Overwatch 2 comes out, it will completely replace the original game. You will not be able to play Overwatch 1 in its current state like ever again." And what makes this so like frustrating is like, it's, imagine you buy a game, like a physical copy of a game, and you put it into your like system, and then you like turn it on and it's like, sorry, this game doesn't exist anymore. You got to go buy the second one, the sequel. You just can't play this game that you bought and own anymore because we can't be bothered. I'm sorry?
What happens when you open it then?
Well, at this point, we don't know because this is happening in October. They're going to shut down the servers or whatever. They're shutting down Overwatch 1, and then like a week or two later, Overwatch 2 comes out, and it's just going to like replace the first game. And it's like, it's nothing. It's just so tedious and unnecessary, and it's just so obvious that everything about this game is like, I don't know, like, you know, it was just birthed out of like trying to escape the controversy, and then they just like fumbled it around, and they were like, what do we even do with this? They it's not 6v6 anymore, it's 5v5, but like all the characters, they don't work that way. They had to like change a bunch of them, like change like core aspects of their kits to make it work with 5v5, and it still doesn't work.
Yeah,
so it's gonna suck. And they also
I don't know.
Yeah,
you could be lying right
see, get this. Here, let me blow your mind with this.
Okay.
So now they're saying there's going to be a battle pass system in the second game. In the battle pass, there's going to be new characters you can unlock in the battle pass where you have to put in 60 hours. And in this game, like I said, you have to be on in this game, because if another character on the enemy team is kicking your ass, basically the only thing you can do is counter pick them. So what if the counter pick character that you want to pick is locked behind like level 78 of the season 1 battle pass, and you're in season 3 and you just can't go back and get that character anymore?
Is that like what?
That's real.
That's real?
Yeah.
That's absolutely real.
Well, that doesn't sound great.
I played Overwatch for a minute once on my friend's Xbox. I didn't like it. I never touched it again.
Well, your problem was you played on it with a controller, but go on.
Well, also, Medic and Heavy have sex in TF2. There's no sex in Overwatch. They fucked up bad. That's just my opinion. But I everything about Overwatch 2, I kind of been observing it. It feels like a game that was made as a marketing ploy, right? Like, it feels like they were making Overwatch 1, and there was a kind of a dip in like maybe player count or like public, because Overwatch, when it first came out, right, it was everywhere. Like, it was all over my Twitter, it was all over my YouTube. People at my school would be playing it. It was everywhere. But I feel like now, like before even Overwatch 2 got announced, it just dipped. Like, I stopped seeing any of my friends who used to play it talk about it. It kind of left the public mind. It's kind of ironic, you know, to bring TF2 back. I feel like, yes, TF2 was left to die and not be updated. It kind of got more popular than Overwatch for a bit, which that's just insane to me. And I feel like they knew that, and they just made a sequel. They kind of ordered a sequel on the sole base, like they needed people to talk about the game again.
And then they made that new character who is Baby's first Japanese inspired OC.
Their third ninja Japanese character.
I didn't watch that, but I just saw like the YouTube thumbnail. I thought it was like D.Va in like different clothes.
Yeah,
I actually did.
Yeah, I it's just a mess. I like, it's hard to talk like there's so much like shit about this game that like pisses me off. because and I'm mad because like it's genuinely can be a really fun
I'm
game.
so
and
mad.
like I've had a lot of fun with this game, but
Sorry.
it's making me mad now.
I'm so bad. Almost got a brand new bag. Good job, everyone.
yeah.
Yeah, Overwatch 2. I don't think this is gonna revive the Overwatch brand. I'm just gonna say that right now. Let's all go play Nick Kart Racers 3 when it drops next month.
Yeah. Wait.
Hey, I'll do that.
Quick question.
Yeah?
When did Overwatch for the Switch came out?
That was 2018 or 19.
This guy's only got 3 years on the Switch before their copy of the game disappeared.
I remember this because there was a big rumor about Overwatch character in Smash because, you know, it's like, oh, it makes sense. And there was a discussion point that I don't think is real. I don't think this was ever in planning, but there was a discussion point people had. They thought Byleth's slot in the DLC might have been Tracer's at one point, and then due to like the controversy, they scrapped Tracer and put Byleth in instead. I don't think it's real at all.
Stupid.
I don't think it's real whatsoever, but it's so funny. Like it's like a theory.
Yeah.
It's the idea that they like had Tracer finished and like ready to go, and they're like, oh no, the controversy, we have to delete this character and then make a new one completely from scratch in a month to like release it.
Is Overwatch 2 coming to Switch?
It is. I think it is.
So
Nintendo released a trailer for it,
Niall
right?
showed me that like I guess on the PlayStation Store, when you like go to like look for Overwatch, the icon is like the Overwatch 2 icon.
Mm.
So everything about this game is confusing. It's so confusing. What is this game? I don't know. Nobody knows. Even the people who might have bought it don't know. If you like turn on your copy of Overwatch 1, does it just like transform and like has a big 2 on it now? It's just have no access to the previous game anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna, if you update your system, then you're losing Overwatch 1 forever.
Cool.
All right, great job on Overwatch, Blizzard.
It's ending on their birthdays.
It's not ending on your birthday.
Yes, it is.
It is?
Okay.
No.
So like how Duncanville is ending on Seep's birthday.
What
Is not.
what reference is Overwatch to you, Ryan and Rosa, who share a birthday?
Nothing.
Okay.
I felt nothing for this game ever besides thinking Winston is funny.
All right.
One say penis butter.
Hey, Rosa.
No.
Rosa. Hey,
Yeah?
you. You want to talk
Me?
about being Puppy Cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can lead the floor on this one, babe.
Vroom. All right, so everyone knows that that Being Puppy Cat were released on Netflix and all that, so which is really great.
Did it happen?
Yeah, well, huh?
Did it release? Did it release?
Oh yeah,
Did
it released on Netflix. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I got a lot to say. It's. Well, I'm not gonna say any spoilers, but it's such a wonderful time to just see it and like see all the new stuff they added to like the recreation of the first season. You kind of get that like there's a lot going on that they really understand what they really want to do now, and they just recontextualize like a lot of stuff and add in like start planting more details. And it feels like it is a show that they want to rewatch. Because, like, I was going back on the second time, and I noticed a lot of detail that gets referenced in later in the second season. And, like, I'm, like, watching second season again, and I'm like, oh my god, there's, like, stuff that are, like, referencing and, like, building up to. It's like, oh wow. It's such a fantastic time. It's such a beautiful show to watch. Like, B is, like, super pretty.
That's your review.
That'd be my.
yeah,
That's
she
my.
looks-
That's, yeah, you know.
That show looks
Look-
really pretty. I love the colors. I have not watched
Yeah.
it, but I like how.
Why
every single-
not?
Oh, Jesus! Every single screenshot I see, I'm just like, oh, that's nice to look at.
It's very nice to look at. Like, characters are, like, beautiful. Like, there's, like, the Wizard family, and they're, like, pretty people.
Yeah, one of them's voiced by Prismo, and I didn't know that going. I didn't know that going in, and when we started speaking, I was like,
Yeah. I mean, he was also in Eternals. Can't just ignore that, right? I mean, he's a pretty big deal. He was in Eternals.
"Hey, Rose, we
right?
keep talking about being Puppy Cat."
He was also in one of those Telltale Walking Dead games. That's how I recognize
Hey,
him.
Rosa, keep talking about being Puppy Cat.
No, let them go on.
No, I do not have anything to say about the Walking Dead Telltale game.
Oh yeah, no, like it's such a beautiful show to watch, and I hope they get a season 3 because they really went out with the second season, and like, oh my god, they really held back for like so many years. Like it would have been such a shame if they like never released it officially.
Yeah, I'm glad it happened. Like, these have been finished for like 3 years.
Yeah, 13 out of the 16 episodes on here have been done for at least like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been watching it too. I haven't seen all of it yet. I've seen like literally half of the episodes.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. I watched the original episodes when they came out in like 2016, whatever it was. I forgot how like funny that show is. I think that's the thing that stood out to me a lot. It's really funny.
I define the way people speak in that show as they kind of react to everything with a very like, oh, okay type of like cadence to them. Like any like a bunch of like weird stuff will happen around like anyone except like Cass, who like is the only one who reacts to things normally. But like when like something weird happens to like Deckard, he'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so nonchalant about like whatever weird shit is going on. It just happens and they just deal with it.
It's got a very specific mood to it. I like how it feels really funny, but it doesn't feel like aggressively like a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't feel like it's like, I don't know, like written jokes. I mean, there's like jokes, but they're not like, I don't know. It's done very well. There's a lot of just like funny visuals, animation that just looks funny. It's really
like,
good at that.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess you could describe it as like it's like going with the flow with whatever going on.
A lot of stuff just kind of, it is a very like the way it's structured. It's like a slice of life show.
Mm-hmm.
So the episodes don't really happen with like the expectation that really anything is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like stuff does happen, but it's just very like you're just kind of watching it unfold just kind of naturally.
It's like another Tuesday.
Yeah. It's really interesting. It's really I highly recommend it. Actually.
I think the show has a real like it's got a story to it, but if you're like someone who likes story-based cartoons constantly dropping big bomb after big bomb and like having like these huge stories, that's not really what the show's about. I'd say like a lot of like the story feels very nonchalant, very casual, and I think it gets this show has a very unique voice, and it's made by Natasha, what's her last name?
Natasha Allegri.
Natasha Allegri of Adventure Time, and it's similar to that show in that I think the show has a very unique voice of its own that isn't like anything else in the same way Adventure Time was. It's not the same voice as Adventure Time at all, but it's like similar in that like there's nothing quite like it in terms of how it presents itself, in my opinion.
Also, I didn't realize that like Pendleton Ward like co-writes.
He did
almost all the episodes.
Yeah, I totally didn't realize that until like I was watching one of the episodes and his name was like in the title. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of DNA that it shares.
Of course, yeah.
So like if you like Adventure Time, then there's a good chance you'll like this. It's very much its own thing still too.
It's also like interesting how it advertised itself as like an adult cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of those two shows that really just like stepped outside of a bounds of like what we define as like an adult cartoon.
It's very casual about like its adult cartoon nature. Like they cover some heavier subjects. Characters have sex. They swear.
It's not like crass about it, but it's very. it's very much made like with adults in mind. Like I feel like a lot of kids. I could imagine a lot of kids just getting bored watching this.
The kids will probably think like Puppy Cat is cute and like probably not think much else.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, it's pretty
Also,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, a character gets pregnant.
That's true.
Yeah, that does happen. You must have loved
And-
that episode.
Character gets pregnant, and another character lost heart because of it.
Cass didn't get the score. So sad.
Spoilers were like it implies that she lost out when she got when Toast got pregnant.
There's something I want to say about B that's a spoiler, but it's like this has technically been something we've known for like 6 years. But like if you never watched the show before, you might not know it.
It technically happens in the first 3 episodes.
It does, yeah. But I want to be careful. You do learn something about B. And this was something you learned in the original 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of expand upon it in some interesting ways. You learn some more about like what the ramifications of like what B is, I guess. You learn something. I just it's something I specifically want to say, but like it might spoil it. I'll just say, B is older than she looks. She's been around longer than you would think. Is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, I like listen closely about how people like talk about B and pay attention to like the backgrounds.
Mm.
And like paying and also the older episodes, the new episodes like emphasize these facts about like the nature of like B and also the nature of like Puppy Cat. So it's like very interesting. It's like you're kind of just learning more about this person.
I think Puppy Cat might be one of the cutest characters ever drawn. I think they kind of struck gold with that design. To be frank with you,
he is very beautiful, but I think what's also funny is like how her personality really contrasts with that. Where like she's very gross.
Oh yeah, B.
Yep.
Oh, I was talking about Puppy Cat, but you're also right about B.
Both B and Puppy Cat.
I think they're cute both in different ways. I would use the word cute.
But like when I say girl, is it like they're kind of just comfortable with like eating out of the toilet?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite gags of the show. Is like they just put all their food in the toilet,
and like they never explain why. They just do that.
That's one of those gags I kind of love. You can do in animation. Like these characters just put their food in the toilet, but it's like it's a cartoon. Like oh, that's okay if they do it.
Yeah.
And like people really just like go with the flow of that. It's like okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great show. I think everyone should watch it.
Yeah.
If you're a big fan of seeing girl character in a new outfit every episode, they have a new outfit for B, and like I want to say almost like 2 new outfits per episode per her.
Yeah.
And I always get excited seeing what new ones she wears.
But she also mixes and matches too, which is very beautiful.
Do you have a favorite guest voice?
Ooh, it's boring to say the Prismo.
It's not even really a guess. Well, I guess sort of.
You were tweeting about Jennifer Tilly on the show the other night.
Oh yeah, because I like the Chucky movies. And it's her birthday today. It's Jennifer Tilly's birthday. Happy birthday to her. She's like 64 or something.
Oh my god.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Also, this isn't in the new show, but it was apparently in the original. They had Tommy Wiseau in an episode.
Yes.
Which I had no idea about till recently.
I think they swapped his voice out in this version, but he played the guy who's on like the planet they go to where they make food. He plays like the boss character, I believe.
Yeah,
in the
he's on the
original one.
donut planet.
Oh
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I hear it now.
And he was replaced with he got replaced by Eric Bauza doing a good impression. Every time Eric Bauza, I still haven't watched a cartoon where Eric Bauza does a voice and I go like, oh, that's Eric Bauza. That still has never happened to me.
Oh no, dude's got fucking ranged.
It's insane. Like I only find out that he's in a cartoon when I like read the credits. I still have not like figured out a way to like.
He's voicing pretty much all the Looney Tunes right now, so.
Yeah, it's nuts. I also like Jack Pendarvis, who voices Root Beer Guy in Adventure Time. He was in an episode.
Oh, what's his name? Who voices like Little Gideon's dad?
Stephen Root.
I always laugh when he's in something. He's in this.
Yeah.
He was in Midnight Gospel too, and I thought it was really funny when he showed up in that.
Right. He voices Finn's dad.
Oh, he does. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
he voices Bald Bill on King of the Hill.
I really hope this gets another season. But you know, streaming and animation is such a mess right now. I just don't know, and it'd be a shame because I think the show ends in a place where like it's very clearly supposed to keep going, and I don't think this needs like 8 more seasons. I think just 1 more would suffice at least. I want them to like be able to wrap up the story they're clearly telling.
Yeah.
And I hope so because I feel like it was kind of infamous before this came out. Netflix really beefed advertising it. There was a tweet. There was a tweet that had like 40K likes on it. That's like a big amount for like an animated show. It's like, hey, there's a new season of Bee and Puppycat coming out. Did anyone else know this? This could be a big thing for Netflix if they marketed it right. And I think it'd be a shame because I think this gives a lot of people what they want out of adult animation. Because if you're not really into like that kind of Rick and Morty, Family Guy, kind of more crass stuff, I think this kind of covers a lot of bases for people. And I think they need to advertise it a lot better because I think this could be a big thing for them.
Like absolutely, I think it was a fan account that like got the most out of like announcing that Bee and Puppycat was coming out.
Yeah, the trailer. Someone had posted the trailer, and it circulated a lot, and that wasn't even like an official account that posted that.
Yeah, that had like a 40K likes on it, like a lot of likes by an animated show standard.
That's absurd. I don't know why they're being pretty limp about it.
I mean, hey, Netflix somehow beefed having JoJo on their streaming service, so I mean.
Oh,
do not get me started on that.
I feel like we should have finished up with this, like, with this part of JoJo by now.
I don't know. You know, I want to claim to know about like what happens behind the scenes, production issues and stuff. But JoJo's biggest strength is its cliffhanger and like endings of each episode, because a bunch of if you've heard anything about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you've heard that there's just some crazy stupid shit that happens in that anime like constantly, and an episode will end and you're like, I have no idea how the fuck the character is going to get out of this one, and I'm so excited to find out next week. It's a little less exciting when you can just immediately watch the next episode because it's getting released in like batches.
I do not like batch releases anymore. I liked it at some point. I do not anymore. I think it's when like Infinity Train started doing batch releases on HBO Max. Like I like this a lot better because they did like the first 4 or 5 of like book 3, and then they did batch releases. I think that's fine. And I really loved because they started doing the batch releases right after like the kind of infamous episode in like book 3, like the one where Simon goes crazy. I'll just say that he does something insane, and then after that they made you wait like a week. And I think that because it's fun to talk about things like as they come out. Like it's fun to like talk about like shows. Is like that was a big thing for Better Call Saul. Like, every week people were talking about like what happened this week. I think that's just a fun part of like TV animation is like the discussion part, and I think that's a weakness of streaming was just these batch releases.
Yeah,
I think like again they should have just kept like. I think streaming is only good for like rewatching episode or catching up with shows you haven't seen or want to get into.
It's weird that like it feels like Disney's the only one who really still values that format, and I feel like their shows get talked about a lot more as a result.
When there's a new Owl House, I see a few people always talking about it, and I don't follow a ton of people, so like that's notable. Like I still see people talk about like new Owl House when Amphibia was coming out. I saw those. I mean, DuckTales when that was coming out, there was always DuckTales discussion.
Even like they're like, you know, they're like Mandalorians and those shows, which I don't know anybody who really cares about those too much, but I would see them every time there was a new episode like out. I would see people talking about Baby Yoda or like the Mandalorian new episode or whatever it was like being streamed on Disney Plus because they were doing, or like WandaVision or whatever.
My belief is I think Gravity Falls worked out for Disney so well they're never not going to do it, because like Gravity Falls dominated discussions like online like all the time, and I think that worked out for them so well. Like there's no reason they would not want to do that still.
But don't you just want every single show to just release and you watch it over a weekend and all you remember is like the first and the last episode?
No.
Don't you love that?
I was so glad Two Good Birdie didn't have the same release BoJack did, and I got a new one every week.
Yeah, I remember like when a new BoJack series like season would come out, and it was like a race to like watch it and like consume as much upsetting material at the same time before you got spoiled.
Oh, it's so there's so many pitfalls. It's so annoying, honestly. I mean, and even still, I mean, at the very least, you could do like I don't know, like 3 episodes a week, if you want like people to be able to like watch a bunch at one time. I don't know.
Streaming. But yeah, B and Puppy Cat is very good. I think if you're looking for adult animation and you're kind of struggling a bit, I think this is a really good, like, if you like a lot of Cartoon Network stuff, like you'll probably be into the vibe. It's very fun to say. It's another branch of the Flapjack tree.
Right. Yeah.
That is crazy. That show, like, basically, like, you know, spawned everything that's happened afterwards.
Yeah.
I do have some breaking news real fast. The Garfield movie starring Chris Pratt has been delayed to May 24th, 2024.
What was that before?
I don't know, but it's been delayed.
All right.
And we
think the Mario movie has something to do with this?
I don't know, but we still know more about that Garfield movie, technically.
Yeah, we know what a character looks like in that
Do you
movie.
think that studios are getting like kind of cold feet about having Chris Pratt voice their characters, so they have to like recast him?
No, there's no way. They're not. They probably already spent so much money just to like get him in the room to like talk about it.
Remember when they were talking about him like voicing Mario, and they're like, "Oh, Chris Pratt's Mario is like nothing you've ever heard. You're gonna be so surprised that his like, Mario voice is gonna be so good."
Now it's not gonna be me in a plumber suit. It's what did you call it? It's like an animation.
It's
yeah,
animation.
It's weird. It's animation. He said something like, "Oh God, what was it?" He said something weird. He was like trying to explain the concept of like an animated movie. He's like, "You're not going to see me in a jumpsuit and jumping around, and I'm just voicing a character."
It's an animated voiceover experience, something like that.
So I think B and Puppy Cat could probably just work as what me, Rosa, and Seep watched this week to make sure we don't go on for too long.
Yeah.
I mean, what about?
But
these huge D23 news drops.
We didn't talk about D23 at all, did we?
We didn't.
Does anyone? What was announced?
The cinematic universe.
They showed a very small snippet of the newest live action fiasco, which will be The Little Mermaid.
I don't want to talk about it. I just think the discussion around that is an absolute mess right now. I just don't think it's worth touching.
It's not.
All I'll say is I think people are absolutely being racist about it. But I also, on the flip side, think people are acting like people didn't have a problem with these remakes before, and that's a little silly. But the racism is definitely a bigger problem. And I'll end it there.
Like my issues with it have nothing to do with the casting. It's literally every issue I've had with every live action Disney movie ever. But yeah,
they announced a Mufasa prequel.
Oh my god!
I want to talk about that. If we can't talk about The Little Mermaid, I want to talk about the fucking Mufasa. What the fuck is that going to be about? And it's going to be based on the live action version of The Lion King?
Well, yeah. I mean, who even voiced Timon and Pumbaa in the old ones? They're rot, They're old news.
Are they going to get the same guy for Mufasa again? Or are they going to voice... Are they going to get like a young Mufasa?
No, I think they've said like it's going to be like a prequel, right? I think there's going to be like 2 scenes where James Earl Jones, like on his couch or whatever, like recorded in the Mufasa voice,
like the mom from Diner Wimpy Kid.
Yeah, he's gonna have like 2 lines. And it's gonna be like, oh, it's Mufasa. Yeah, because he's like 87 years old or something.
Yeah, I don't know if does he do much voice work other than like occasionally coming back for Mufasa nowadays?
He voices Darth Vader still.
Okay, well, that's nice. Nice for him to do that.
people are all saying all these things they announced at D23, and we're way too late in the show to talk about them at this point. I feel a little bad.
Roderick Rules. What do you have to say about that?
I can't wait for another
watered down Olympic.
For the boring one. The new Pixar Elemental movie looks boring. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I think the Alien one looks pretty cute. Inside Out 2, I think it's probably a bit more interesting as a sequel than some of the other sequels, but Pixar's track record with sequels is really bad, and Bill Hader and Mindy aren't coming back for it, which is concerning.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna handle that. What do you think? What do you think the new emotion is gonna be? That's gonna be pretty awesome, right?
It's
gonna be a fun week.
Remember in Family Guy who goes, "I'm poo."
I want to read this comment from Niall, which is Darth Vader in the Kenobi show was actually AI generated using his voice, not a joke.
Oh
They
my
didn't
god!
He didn't even like. I'm like.
Well, I guess they have enough footage of his original performance that they don't have to.
God. He's gonna die. He's gonna die.
God, no, don't say that.
I mean, he is. He's gonna die, and like that won't be an issue.
They're gonna still use his voice even after death. That's grim.
Yeah, I don't want to think about how grim the situation we're entering is. Where like Mark Hamill and James Earl Jones are going to be dead, and Disney's going to be parading their corpses around, which they already are with some actors, to be frank. Terrifying future we're living in right now. I don't want to think about it at all. The Disney movie where they go to the crazy world, I think that one looks pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I like how they're. I don't remember what it's called. I feel bad. They have like Hotel
Strange Planet or something.
Yeah, and they got like Hotel Transylvania eyes, and I like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Huge trailer drop. Enchanted 2.
God,
Okay.
I
Oh wait,
no.
I have something to say. I didn't watch the trailer, but I have something to say. That movie is not going to work. Disney does the joke of Enchanted in all their movies now. It doesn't matter.
Lampoon, like, oh, you think I'm some like generic Disney princess who sings and likes animals?
No, yeah, it is a worthless movie now. I'm sorry, I don't mean that in a rude way. I'm happy everyone was excited about this.
Isn't the trailer gonna be interesting?
No,
I think
I'm the only one who's seen the trailer, I think, here.
What did you think of it, Lou?
Oh god. So Enchanted, I feel like came out at the most opportune time it could have. If it came out any later than it did, it would not work. But it came out at the time where those jokes were at least not as played out. So you could have a little bit of a laugh. There's some fun songs and musical. I like a musical. They got musicals. The new thing, apparently, is like, they want to do these kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you take an idea and you change it up. You know, like it's a subversion.
yeah.
Expectations. That's what this one is, except it's like painting Giselle as almost in like a villain role. 'Cause she's like, she finds something that, makes her, do wishes that, I don't know, she wants to change her life up. I don't know why, because I thought the whole point of the first one is that she wanted her life to be less like a fairy tale, but now she wants it to be more like a fairy tale. And it's kind of, I don't know, she's evil now, I guess. It looks stupid. I don't, whatever.
Wait, no, everyone shut up. Everyone shut up about Disney. I don't care about Disney. Stupid ass Disney. They changed Front Row Joe. I just saw this on my timeline right now. Front Row Joe, the Cinemark mascot, the guy who sang the song, they changed him. Look what they've...
Oh my god, no.
They Front Row Joe.
Front Row Joe, do you not know who Front Row Joe is?
No. Oh my god, Front Row, look
what they... to the movie! You sit down in the chair!
Look at they did
everybody's everywhere!
They changed Front Row Joe!
They made him look like a Zootopia extra. Who is
not
this?
The same Front Row Joe!
Who's Front Row Joe?
Can you put original Front Row Joe as a...
Is it just me, or does he have daddy energy now?
I hate you. Can you die? Can you stop talking for the rest of life, maybe?
When did they do that to Front Row Joe? Front Row Joe used to be cool. He used to be like cool. I thought Front Row Joe was just like a guy who goes to the movie and practices good movie etiquette. I didn't know he was an actual Cinemark employee. Look at him, he looks like a manager.
He got promoted. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been like 30 years.
They got his lore all wrong. He's just supposed to be a guy who's awesome and goes to the movies. Look at they removed all his swag. It's gone. Front Row Joe's dead. It's not the same guy I know anymore. This is awful. I hate this. Front Row Joe, my childhood equal ruined.
Right? I was partially hoping that like you were gonna like build all this up. Like they changed Front Row Joe. And then you like pull up like a drawing you did of him with like the CalArts smile. I was hoping for it.
You tell me Popcorn, Penny, Elton, and Clyde, the Cinemark characters are okay. I don't know. I can't confirm yet. I'll give you updates when I have them.
Not Front Row Joe.
They got rid of his big, huge chest. They got rid of his beautiful bedroom eyes.
He took out his breasts.
Like he's shaped like kind of launch pad shaped in this original image, and then they just kind of twinkified him a little bit, and I hate it. But he's supposed to be a hunk, not a twink.
Yeah, I mean, it was the jacket, I guess. I guess we were just being.
So all the padding, he put padding in his jacket. I mean, the shoulder pads. That's totally the era.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. Or maybe it's just really puffy and like insulated. Yeah.
I can't believe they did this to Front Row Joe. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna gather the Patreon topics for the week, but before I do that, Lou, do you want to talk about Splatoon 3 real quick? Because you're the only one here who's played it. I'm gonna say probably only talk up to where like
I won't say much.
I'll just say probably safest bet is talk up to where Deep Cut first appears in the story mode. That's probably your safest bet.
I was just gonna say I like Splatoon 3. I don't got much to say about it, to be honest. I played a lot of the first one, played a lot of the second one. I think that if you played Octo Expansion and you really liked the level design in that one, that you're really gonna like the story mode in Splatoon 3. Deep Cut, they appear in the story mode, and if you were kind of like, I don't really care about these guys that much, once you meet them, you'll love them. They're a bunch of goobers. Those guys are great. I enjoy them a lot. I think that there's a lot of just like fun little things to change, to see, to look at. There's a lot of little changes in the UI that have been like very slight things, like quality of life improvements. The lobby system is, when you're not getting disconnected every 3 seconds, is actually like that's superior.
That's the big thing. That's the big thing I've noticed from watching people play. There seems to be a bit of disconnection problem.
Yeah, but it's getting better by the day. Like the first day I got the game, I like could hardly get into a match.
Is it getting better, like the Cat in the Hat song from the end of the movie? Where
No.
You got to admit it's getting better all the time.
Right.
What?
You think any of us know that?
No, I'm Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers at the end, and he.
Ryan, I have something to tell you. I have never seen that movie.
No, he comes back and helps the kids.
You're
Myers too.
obsessed with like terrible Dr. Seuss movies right now. Before we turn on the show, every week, I don't know. Every week, Ryan has like some new song that she sings before we go live, and usually she manages to suppress it for the entirety of the show, and like it's just the guests that are on who have to live with that. She keeps singing this song from Horton Hears a Who that like, she doesn't even care about. She doesn't even like watch the movie. You don't even care about that movie. You don't even like it. Why were you singing that song?
Well, Seep, it's because I can't fight this feeling anymore. I forgot it when I started fighting for
this time now my heart feels like December.
Oh God.
But Splatoon 3 is not the only game I've been playing.
Okay, you can talk about more.
Yeah, I played Pac-Man World Repack.
Oh my gosh, Pac-Man!
Whoa. It sure is reminiscent of an old platformer. That pisses me off. That's all I have to say about that.
That's all you have to say about what do you think of his? Is he good?
Aren't you married to him?
Is he good? Are you asking me if Pac-Man is good, like the man?
Yeah. Is he good?
Yeah. Good at what, Seep?
What? Does he still got it? I mean,
Oh my god!
what? You like Pac-Man? It's gonna be on our new podcast theme song. I point that out that you like Pac-Man.
We do.
Hey, before we move on to patron topics, I made a note that I would fix all the playlists when we get to 10 patrons, and we haven't been able to do that. Tragically.
Oh, too bad.
We can't get
that like pushes that.
People won't give me $2 to fix the playlist. But I have a new promise. If we can't get those 2 more patrons, if you all can get this tweet to 50 retweets, I'll fix the playlist.
Okay.
50
Oh.
retweets.
You're just giving this one away now.
Yeah, if nobody wanted to give me $2, so I won't fix the playlist. But if you can get my horn here's a who tweet to 50 retweets, I'll fix the playlist.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. That poor playlist.
No, don't.
But
It's too late.
Speaking of patrons, if you are a $4 and above patron, you can ask a weekly podcast topic, and we will cover it. That is a boost if you follow us on Patreon, the $4 and above tier. Here are our 2 topics for this week. From Rose Hartford, talk about Sonic Frontiers again.
Okay.
That's requested.
There was news, I guess.
You want to talk about it real quick?
I'm here, arching for these new frontiers.
I like that song. They revealed that new song.
You sing it very well.
They say the F word in that song.
They do.
They say my bed is in ruins. That's disgusting, by the way. Just disgusting. What did that say? There's like revealed volcano. Oh, they revealed a new Tails render. A new render of Tails.
He's in the middle of walking and someone took a picture of him.
Yeah. He's like, where he's talking to the paparazzi, not to bother him. Let me get a picture of that. Here we go. They showed Supersonic. Yeah. Which I think indicates
Supersonic?
Yeah, I think it indicates. I think the way this game is, like, there's like a bunch of different islands, and you fight like a really giant boss on each one. And I think you fight each of those as Supersonic, and you have to like get the emeralds back each time, which I think is a fun twist. I think like they stopped using Supersonic for a while in like the stories. I think it's just because it just got a little predictable.
Yeah.
Like it got to a point where it's just like you reach the end of the game. It's like, what are we gonna do? Hold on, let me call the power of the emeralds. And then like the emeralds spin around him, and he goes, Rah! And he turns gold, and then he like chases after the villain, which is cool. But I think you can't rely on that really. So I like how this time they're kind of like they're treating it, I guess, a bit more casually, where you get to use him throughout the story. So that's neat. I hope. I think it'd be cool if like Sonic gets some new like cyberspace form at the very end, with like new powers or whatever as a twist. That'd be neat. Yeah. Does anyone else have anything to say about Sonic Front Teeth?
I haven't been paying attention to Sonic front door. Sorry.
I know you don't like you hate Sonic.
I don't hate Sonic. I have never said that.
I think no matter what happens to this game in terms of quality, the most important thing is that it's going to go hard. I think, right? Like it's going to.
Yeah,
this is a game. This is a game people will make AMVs of and go crazy with. I'm excited for that. If this game is bad, at the bare minimum, 6-year-olds now will have some killer video essays to make about it in 20 years from now.
Yeah.
No,
if this game is bad now, it's gonna be good later.
No, but I am looking forward to it. I think it looks really fun. I like how indulgent it is in Sonic like personality and like vibe and tone. I think that's fun. I love that Big the Cat's in it.
Oh yeah, I actually really like that. I like Big the Cat. Like me and him are like brothers.
I think Big the Cat is such a perfect just throw into a game character because like I think a lot of Sonic characters require like a context to show up. Like you know, the Chaotix have to be solving something, and like Shadow has so much going on in his life. Silver's from the future, Blaze is from another dimension. Big the Cat is just a good like he could be here.
Yeah, he fishes, and you can fish where there's water. There's fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
When there's fish, there's water, and when there's water, there's fish.
Do you have anything to say, Rosa, about Sonic?
And
someone paid good money for this discussion.
Wait, hold on.
Okay,
I want to add real quick. We don't have to. You don't have to retweet the Horden anymore. We got 2 extra patrons during the show. Apparently,
we did.
Yeah, nobody has to retweet the Horden. I'll fix the playlist now. I didn't notice. Thank you to the. I'll add them. I have a scroll at the end. I'll make sure to say you guys' name when we thank patrons. Anyway, go on, Rosa.
I forgot.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm very excited. I guess I'm excited. I'm very interested. I guess. I heard Sakurai played it. I guess.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
he played it. Do you think he played it like, oh shit, this guy can do more than spin dash?
Wow.
Yeah. I can sing, you can dance.
You're ready for Sonic in the next Smash to have like laser hands.
Hey, it'll be hype. No, but it's cool that he liked it. That's probably a good sign.
Yeah, because he's like the epicest, most definitive voice on video games. So if he likes something, then I'm allowed to like it.
No, that's
how I define my taste.
That's Egoraptor. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, don't talk about my cousin like that. My cousin Egoraptor.
No, you can't say that. People will think you're telling the truth.
Yeah, so did you know that Egoraptor's my cousin?
No, he's not. Stop talking. Don't lie.
Egoraptor's my cousin on my mom's side. Yes, you heard it right. He's also Hispanic.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, happy Heritage Month, everybody.
No, we don't claim them.
That's a nice factual fact that I've learned.
Yeah, I would never lie about my good friend and cousin. Well, not friend. See, we don't really associate with him anymore, but he's still my cousin.
I like this. I like this Twitch comment that it like Sakurai would get in beef with Egoraptor and like make a sequelitis response to like Egoraptor uploading a video.
Really?
God.
Any other thoughts on Sonic Frontiers?
No.
All right. The second patron question we have is from. Hold on, I clicked out of the page. I feel so stupid. No one look at me. No one look at me.
Ryan.
Robo House. This is from Super Mushroom Hill Act 1-1. Favorite Deltarune characters.
Ooh.
Oh, I know my favorite Deltarune characters. Let me think. SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Sandy, Larry, Pearl, Mr. Krabs.
SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward,
King Neptune, and Plankton. Those are my favorite characters from Deltarune.
Well, I think it's very hard to pick. There's so many good ones. I think Queen is very, very good. I love her a lot. I think she's definitely top 3. I am a fan of Lamo's like Rules Card. I think Rules Card is hysterical every time he shows up.
Tell me what you think about him as like sexuality wise.
Well, I think he's a he/him lesbian.
All right, good to know.
There we go.
I had to make sure everyone was on the same page.
Yeah, there's just something about him. Like it's every time I look at him, I'm just like, I know I want to help you. I'm gonna help you realize like everything you need to realize.
I also really like Queen. I think she's really funny. I think she's got a great design. She's a woman. But I think genuinely in terms of, like character writing, I think Susie is really interesting in terms of like when you first meet her, she's like the bully character, right? She's like really rough and gruff, and like she's like kind of like an actually scary bully too. Like they don't like.
I'm like she comes over, she's like, "Hey, dinner bell."
No, that's genuinely. I think it's interesting. Like when you first meet her, she's like really scary. But as the game has gone on, she's kind of like leveled out to be like the normal one, like compared to like
Yeah, she's kind of the most stable character.
because there's clearly something going on with Chris. Chris is clearly they're fucked up somehow. How do you pronounce that freak's name? Rousey.
Rousey's just smoking weed.
Yeah, Rousey is like clearly like hiding something to some extent. But I think it's nice. Like Susie now is kind of like an older sister character, like Lancer. She's like really protective of him.
Oh shit, Lancer. Yeah, that's a good one.
She's a total like good friend to like Chris. I think there's something really sweet about like she's still like gruff, but like she's kind of opened up and like you tell like she cares about the people around her a lot. There's like that cute scene with her and like Toriel near the end of like chapter 2. I think it's like a really interesting like kind of character. Yeah, I really like Susie. I think she's really cool.
Yeah.
I like when something weird happens in the Deltarune world, and she goes, so we gonna talk about that?
Shut the hell up.
She puts her hands on her hips whenever something silly happens. Are you guys done?
I didn't get to talk about my favorite Deltarune characters.
What is yours?
There's like so many of them. I really like the random ones that are like running jokes, like Newbert.
Newbert's great.
I love Toby's really good at making these like weird NPC characters.
Yeah, like Newbert just comes out of nowhere, and like when they were doing the replays, like he wasn't there before, and they just added him in. It's like my man. Rousey's like my man. Like you know this guy well, huh, Rousey?
I love when Susie goes, "Oh shit, it's Newbert."
Yeah. I just love that they can curse in Deltarune. But also, I also like the Star Walker. It kind of just comes out of nowhere. It's like I'm so fucking pissed.
It's exciting to know that the like development on that game, like the rest of the chapters, is like going really smoothly and like know picking up steam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like they're almost done within like the next set, and it's gonna probably release in like the next year.
It's always exciting, like even when he just like drops music or something, because like Undertale and Deltarune music is always like so like special and good, and it's like he dropped like a music piece for like as part of like an update pretty recently, and it was like a really nice track.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's very proud of that game. I think I also like. I wouldn't say I like Rousey, but like. The weird controller form that people take Rousey into, like the Mercedes-Benz Rousey, I really love.
I think you like Rousey in the same way you like Sengo from Pretty Cure.
I was ready to say the same thing. I was just
because he's just such a cute, fluffy, wholesome boy.
No, actually, I love the scenes where they just like make Rousey eat shit.
Oh my god.
He falls over.
The cheese on the blacktop.
You like Rousey the same way you would like Carl Wheezer.
Yeah.
I think honestly that's a big appeal to him.
Like, Rousey just gets kicked around a bit and just like beats up. It's really funny. It's like a character that get caught in the middle of like absurdities. I think that's what Songo should have been.
Seep, what about you? What's your favorite Deltarune?
Can you list every single one just so I can? It's like one of those things where, like, if you ask me to list every book I've read, I can tell you. But if you list a bunch of them,
Chris, Susie, Rousey, Lancer, Noelle, Birdly, Alphys, all the characters.
Addison, you got Bloxer, you got C-Round, you got Clover, you got the Darkners, you got. Everyman, you got Hathy, Head Hathy, Hometown NPCs, Ice E.
Are you on a wiki right now?
Task Manager.
Yeah, you're listing all like whatever.
See, I think you like Birdly.
What?
I think you like Birdly.
Yeah, I kind of do. Yeah, he's funny. I mean, it's a funny game. It's got good like writing. Yeah, I do like Birdly. I don't know if I have a favorite, really. I really like Queen. Yeah, I mean Queen's good. Rousey's pretty, cute and wholesome.
Oh, I think you would like Jevil because they're kind of a Kirby character.
Yeah, I mean,
and you can do a whole cartoon with them.
I don't know if I've said this. I have to confess, I've never fought Jevil. never done that.
Why not?
I just never did. Because it was just kind of out of the way. I just never did that.
When I first played the first chapter of Deltarune, I also didn't realize that you could go back and fight him, and so I just never did until after chapter 2 came out, and after I beat the secret boss in chapter 2, I had to go back to the chapter 1 to beat Chevel, and it was like actually pretty easy because I had already done the chapter 2 one.
I was going to say, it's really funny none of us had spammed.
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty like all that.
He's pretty popular. You're not going to shake anyone's head saying that he's your favorite. Even though I do. I like him. I don't know, there's just a lot of characters to like. I really enjoy the writing. I guess I haven't really latched heavily onto one in particular, but I think just the overall, just the writing of all the characters is just really superb.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of all their little stories. Every time I play, like, one of the Toby Fox, Undertale games, it's always such a great time. Like, I don't know, it has such a way of, I don't know, it just brings you into the world. It's such a cozy, weird, interesting place to be.
They're really good at being small but feeling really big, I think is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Right. They're not, like, extravagant in their budget. They have very simple, like, stripped-down visuals in a lot of ways, but...
I love that Lancer's only are that one pose only.
Yeah. Lancer's pretty good. I like Lancer. That might be one of my favorites.
I think my favorite part of Spamton back on him was when Chapter 2 came out and I finished it and I watched other people playing it. I always like seeing the voice they gave Spamton because he's such like a, how do I word this? He's such like a voice over bait character, like a character like people told, like just fun to see. Like Germa like killed it like when he got this. He was born to play because we know Toby Fox watches Germa. He like mentioned him like during a stream once.
Oh yeah. That was insane.
My part of me thinks he made that character for Germa to voice him. And I like the thing Germa did like where it was like whenever he's selling brackets, he like voiced it like Spamton literally couldn't say it or something. I thought that was a really fun take on it.
Yeah. Sets is really I like that guy. That little short screw.
Yeah.
Where's the Queen plush though? I'm waiting.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. What a woman.
What a woman.
My Queen.
The fact that like Toby Fox have written like fan fiction.
Oh yeah. We didn't talk about the official Reagan and Sans fan fiction he wrote.
I mean, if you know it, you know it. I mean,
you had to be there.
You really had to be there.
Think about the fact that fanfic was being written as the Queen was dying.
Shut up. That's so. Alright.
Think about it. And she was passing on.
Sorry, that's my cat.
I don't think your cat likes my Queen dying to Reagan fanfic.
I don't think so either.
We went the whole show without really mentioning that. I'm glad that this is the way you decided to bring it up.
The Queen would have loved Pikmin 4.
The Queen would have loved the Toby Fox Deltarune update.
No, I'm excited for that rest of that game because I made a joke tweet like literally 5 minutes before they like posted that update. Like, oh, we're not gonna be playing Deltarune's finished version when we're 30. And then he posted a thing like, oh no, it's coming along really well. I think we'll probably get it by like 2025 or something. Probably sooner than we think.
Mm-hmm. Right. It'll just come at us. I hope so. Yeah.
All right. I don't think there was any fan art this week. Let me double check because I like to make sure that's on screen at the end. Let me check.
I'll think 3 times. 1, 2, 3.
There was a Seep. Let me see. There was a Seep fan cam. I don't think I can put this on screen right now.
Oh yeah.
I want to post it on screen. I'm gonna post this on the Twitch. I don't have any way like set up to like do that right now. Sadly, it would take a bit too much for like the end of the show. But I posted in the Twitter chat. There it is. I wish I'd made sure to put that on screen ahead of time. But go look at that.
Let's get this fan cam to 1 million views.
You could do it again like Duncanville.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the end of the show where I thank our patrons. We have a Patreon. We usually have a bot that posts links to it automatically, but I don't think it was working tonight for whatever reason. But I'll post it right now. You can join the Patreon for as low as $2 and get things like shows early and your name here at the end of the show on screen as a special thanks. There's other perks too. It's okay to make fan art of the podcast? Of course. No, yeah, we love it. If you ever make fan art, we like to share it at the end whenever we can. So thank you to Rose Hartford, Funky Z, Kelsies, Peter Evelyn, Dino Fuzz, Super Mushroom Hill Act 1-1, Magna Mike, Time Pavement, and we got two in the middle of the show. I'm going to say their names real quick because I didn't have time to add them before the show started. Thank you to Banshee Neat and Thinky Bob Inc., aka B Kirby. I know that's B Kirby.
All right.
Hi, thank you. Now you'll be able to watch Looney Duels early, 2 days early.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking a lot about Wile E. Coyote.
If you love Wile E. Coyote and Tweety Bird, the next 30 episodes of Looney Duels will have at least one short for you.
I'm so mad.
I'm so mad.
Papa's got a brand new bag. All right,
Anyway.
Do we have anything we want to say before we end off?
I don't think so. I think we covered about it all. Oh, we didn't mention the Teletubbies Netflix.
We gotta go. Bye, everyone.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.